Manifesting health, success, wealth, and happiness. I'll be your guide over the next 2 or 3 hours through the amazing and fascinating world in the art and science of manifestation. For those of you joining us through our YouTube channel, I beg your indulgence because there is a delay between when I speak things through the feed and when the sound actually reaches you, the video feed actually reaches you. I do see your questions in real time through our chat interface. The same is true with you guys here in our wonderful Jet Webinar land. So I want to thank the folks at Jet Webinar for giving us a platform in which to work. I see the questions already rolling in, and that's awesome. But what I do need to know is before we get into the content for today, we need to go over exactly who I'm talking to and what it is you want to get out of today's webinar. So first and foremost, if you are brand new to Planet David, please type your name and where you're checking in from in the chat room. That's the first set of questions. If you're not a veteran or if you are a veteran of Planet David, then by all means, how long you've been in Planet David and what do you want to know about, right? Now, the reason I kind of separate the first timers from the new people is because, sorry, I just had a message from my tech support people. The reason I asked this question is because a lot of times as you go through our content, one of the things that happens, you always have questions. And if you've watched any of my content on YouTube, you know I love questions, right? Probably more than any other thing. My firm belief is that the better the question, the better the training. And my job here is to give you hardcore, solid, actionable things you can take out into the world and use right away. The challenge with that is if I try to answer everybody's questions, I'll get nothing I have planned tonight done. So as part of our pre-game warm-up, let me just give you some basic guidelines and some things to expect as a byproduct of your journey through our class tonight. First and foremost, if you have questions, we love questions. We find there's 3 ways you can get your questions answered. First and foremost, what you need to do is you can type your question here in the chats, and that's both for our Jet Webinar folks as well as our folks who are joining us through our YouTube channel. Now, if the question that you're asking, first, if I see it, right, and it's relevant to the point in the webinar where we are at, I'll answer it. I don't have a problem with that. However, if I feel that the content of your question is going to take us in a direction that is really not the focus of tonight's webinar, I will defer answering that question until it's either more relevant in the webinar or another time in the future. Now, let's talk about that time in the future. At the end of this webinar, there will be a replay, okay? Now, depending on whether you're joining us through Jet or you're joining us through YouTube, the time between when we end the webinar and it goes live on our YouTube channel or on our website is going to be different, okay? YouTube will throw up a quick copy within a few hours of this webinar ending. So here's what you do. If you really want your questions answered, here's how you do it. All you got to do is go to our YouTube channel, find the live video section where this replay will be reposted, type your question into the comment section below this video. And I make it a practice every time we launch new content to go through those contents and comment sections 4 or 5 times a day, every day. And I answer the questions where people ask, and I point you in the direction of where to go. The final way you can get your question answered is if you're persistent enough, if any of my veterans out there from Planet David, people who've actually been using our tech to go out and make changes in themselves and in other people, if you have direct experience with the question that our new people are asking, I ask you to do me a favor and message them and tell them your experience with the technology, okay? My job during the course of this webinar is to give you a set of experiences that not only pull the scales from your eyes, literally and metaphorically, but give you solid, hardcore, actionable content. But it is a webinar, so there is an offer connected to this training. And so you expect things that I say to have an agenda. You expect me to say, hey, my stuff's the greatest thing since sliced bread. Well, don't trust what I say. Trust what the people in the chat say, because they're the ones who've actually taken this stuff out into the real world and actually used it. Okay. So that being said, nothing in this webinar requires you to believe it'll happen. That's what's kind of the weird thing is if you think about the law of attraction, which is what this class is about, everybody says, you got to believe, you got to believe, you got to believe. Well, maybe not as much as you were led to believe. right? So we've taken a long time in Planet David to distill the principles and the techniques that we're going to be sharing with you down to a core set of mechanics. And as long as you can adopt a playful, explorational, energetic attitude, belief is often not quite as necessary as you might think. Okay, so that being said, let's go over where you're going tonight and what we're going to be doing. First and foremost, this webinar has three components or three phases to it. Phase one is where we give you foundation skills and core experiences. So what that means is I am going to guide you through a set of principles that you and foundations that you absolutely have to have. I'm going to give you a set of drills that when you do them and you participate them, you will go through an experience. You will have an internal transformation that will change you. Okay. You don't have to believe in any of it. You just have to adopt a fun, playful, easygoing attitude, and you'll be amazed at how rapidly some of these things will work. I will teach you as much as I can. If this is the scope of everything there is to learn in the law of attraction, we have time for just about this. So I'll take you as deep down this rabbit hole in phase one. I'll point you in the direction of where to go to take your skills to the next level in phase two. That usually takes about 20, 25 minutes or so. It's the offer connected to this program. At the end of phase two, I'm going to circle back to the stuff the foundations and the groundwork that we laid down in phase one. And I'm going to continue to teach. I'm going to customize the content of tonight's training for exactly the applications you as a group want to learn about. Okay, so that being said, let me go to my chats really quick and check in with you guys. All right, so does that sound like a good plan? Does it sound like a place we're going to, can I take you as far as I can in the time that we have and point you in the direction of where to go to level up? Is that a fair trade for your attendance tonight? Type it in the chat for me. This is by the way, I will tell you right up front, this is a participation intensive training. If you want to get the most out of it, when it's time to do drills, get up and do them when it's safe to do them. Okay. All right, let me see. I see Terrence in there. Craig's there. Fair Trade. Fair Trade Doc. Awesome. Man, those names went by quick. All right. So that being said, let's get down to core basics. Tonight's class is all about the hidden laws of attraction, the things that they may not have shown you in other courses on attraction training, how to use your mind and body to reprogram your subconscious mind to be an attraction and manifestation machine. We're going to show you how to systematically remove the blocks to your success, how to get rid of negative emotions, how to program your mind for unlimited success, wealth, health, and happiness. And that's just the beginning. But sometimes people ask me, or especially if you're brand new to Planet David, let me go to this really quickly. And hold on, let me make sure I got the right screen on here. Who is Dr. David Snyder and why should I care? First and foremost, hold on a second. I actually am a doctor of Chinese acupuncture and Oriental medicine. I got my license to practice acupuncture in 2005, along with a master's degree. And then I went on to get my doctorate in Chinese acupuncture and Oriental medicine from Pacific College of Oriental Medicine. I've had a clinic in Solana Beach, Florida for since 2005, where my focus has been treating physiological illness that is the result of repressed emotion. So while many neurolinguistic programmers and acupuncturists are dealing with weight loss, smoke cessation, I've been dealing with heavy duty stuff. People ask me in my YouTube chat, what was the most emotionally satisfying experience that I ever did? And that was when I treated a lady who was diagnosed as terminal, and I helped put her cancer into remission. That to me has been one of the many profound experiences I've had. But one of the things that I want you guys to understand is that these 15 years of clinical experience has given me a profound insight into the art and science of manifestation. Why is that? It's because human beings manifest their own illnesses. That's the one thing I've learned from 15 years of kind of peeking under the hood. Human beings actually manifest their own illnesses. They can also manifest their own cures. Okay. And if you can manifest an illness, you can manifest other things as well that are beyond just the scope of your physical body. That being said, I'm also one of the world's leading authorities by popular vote in the field of neurolinguistic programming. I've authored over 15 different courses on various forms of human influence, everything ranging from healing and hypnotherapy to persuasion and influence, dating and attraction, vibrational influence skills, energy training, remote influence. If you went to our website and looked at the store, you would see literally 50 some products that we've actually created in various editions and versions, all dealing with some form of human influence, which is really what you're here to learn about. You're here to take the randomness out of your life. And that has been something that we have been focusing on for helping people get the life they want, the way they want it, practically from the time I started teaching. But it's all about hands-on and having experiences. So what you're seeing here is a letter from globalgurus.org saying, David, it is great with pleasure to announce that your program, Killer Influence, has been chosen by global peers and ranked as the #1 best program in the world for NLP for 2022. And you can see that listed here. By the way, I'm #2 in the world again, as far as trainers go. I've been there for like 6 years now. So thank you for your votes and your support. And you see here that our Killer Influence course is the #1 NLP training program in the world. I'm very proud of that. And I thank you all for helping us to be the top of the pyramid, so to speak. And we're going to use a lot of the skills from Killer Influence combined with some of the most powerful understandings of the law of attraction to help you actually manifest the life you want the way that you want it in the shortest amount of time possible. I also have a rather long and intense career in the martial arts. You see here, I have a 10th degree black belt in an art called Ryukyu Kempo Karate, which is an art that specializes in dealing with the energetics and the acupuncture points and meridians of the body for self-defense, as well as other things. I have a 4th degree black belt in Shaolin Kun Tao, a 2nd degree black belt in Kosho Kempo Ryu, a 1st degree black belt in Fanku Ryu Jiu-Jitsu, as well as a certified instructor in Combat Sistema, Cinco Mano Eskrima, Modern Arnis. And I have so many energy healing credentials. In fact, I've been a Reiki master. Let me go ahead and switch back to this for you guys. You know, I've been a Reiki master since before Reiki was cool, right? I've been studying Kabbalah almost that long before Madonna even heard of Kabbalah. So I'm very much a prima donna, right? I'm an advanced pranic healer and pranic psychotherapist, advanced DNA theta healer. I'm certified in the Bengston Energy Healing System, which to me was one of the most powerful healing systems I've ever discovered and led me to what I call the most powerful engine of transformation in the history of mankind. It's amazing when you learn it. I've studied many different forms of Qigong. In fact, I'm working now on my doctorate in Chinese energetic medicine through the Bianhua Gong Institute, which is run by Dr. Jerry Allen Johnson. So give me a few years and I'll have another doctorate behind my name. And I'm getting so much corroboration and confirmation on the skills and principles that I've been teaching for so long. So there's a lot going on in Planet David. The learning and the training and the developments are constantly happening. And we're always looking for new, faster, better ways, for me to get what I want. And then I pass those things on to you once they've proven their muster. So people might often ask me, okay, David, so either you are the world's biggest overachiever, a first-class liar, or you're trying to compensate for something. Which is it? And what the hell does this have to do with the law of attraction? Well, I'm glad you asked, because what does it have to do with the law of attraction? Pretty much everything, right? All these things have several things in common. Vibrational state control and pattern recognition. One of the most powerful and important things that we need to understand is that everything in this universe, both within a human being, the microcosm, as the old texts call it, and the macrocosm is holographic in nature. What does that really mean for us? It's holographic and fractal, actually. What it means is that the same patterns and structures at a vibrational level are mirrored at the thought level, the voice level, the biomechanical level, okay? And if you have the eyes to see and the ears to hear, you can rapidly begin to perceive these patterns and tap into the power of these patterns to make changes at any level of your mind, body, soul, spirit, from the intra-world of your microcosm to the outer world of your macrocosm. It's all manifestation and transformation once you can see those patterns. So what does it have to do with state control and pattern recognition? Pretty much everything. Okay, so this is something you're going to really, really want to pay attention to as we delve deeper and deeper into this program. So let me just make sure that I'm actually okay. So The question becomes, is this the right place for you? Is this the right place for you to spend the next 2 or 3 hours? I have to warn you that our webinars are not short. If you are logging into the webinar thinking you were going to be done in an hour or 90 minutes, where you get teased for a little while and then the guy goes, buy my stuff, 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 and you don't get any real solid content, you're either going to be really excited or a little disappointed. Our webinars are very content heavy. They're focused on giving you the exact skills you need and the experiences you need to actually start creating change right away. Okay. You will need things to write with and to write on. I know a lot of you like to use your your keyboard and your notepads. I'm going to recommend that if you want to get the biggest neurological bang for your buck from tonight's training, that you actually physically write these things down. I may drop little hints and tips later in the webinar where you can use your handwriting to change your neurology. It's really powerful stuff. Okay. So here's the thing I've learned in my life and through many years of studying attraction and training. There are no accidents. If you found your way to this webinar, it's because at some level you are ready for the content of this webinar. You were meant to be here. So if you're ready to take the randomness out of your life and out of your manifestation, type that's me in the chat. Okay, go ahead and do that now. I'm going to go ahead and open my chat so I can see everybody. Okay. If you're ready to remove the blocks to your success, get over limiting beliefs, to attract more love, health, wealth, success, and happiness into your life, to attract more opportunities without actually adding more workload or stress to your everyday workload, go ahead and type that in the chat. If you're ready to take your life to the next level and become the very best version of yourself, type that's for me in the chat. And for those of you who are still not sure, if you can answer yes to any of these questions, then you are in the right place. Would you like to be super attractive to the opposite sex and make them find you charming, fascinating, and irresistible? If that's something you'd like more of, type yes in the chat. If you'd like to banish fear and insecurity from your life and radiate confidence and assertiveness to be truly alpha, go ahead and type that in the chat. If you'd like to make more money or attract more money, book more clients for your business, get that promotion you know you deserve, protect yourself from manipulators and easily handle difficult people, maybe you want to type yes in that chat right now, right? If you'd like to program yourself to create massive abundance, whether that's financial, spiritual, physical, by whatever definition you define it, go ahead and type yes in that chat, because all that is true for you right now. If you'd like to cause anyone you like and meet to admire you and even love you, this might be something you want to spend a little bit more attention to, right? If you'd like to inspire your employees, your children, your spouse, you can do that. If you want to attract and surround yourself with a higher quality of friends, people that you can actually trust and connect and communicate with, this is probably a good place for you. If you've ever wondered, this is kind of a little Star Wars-ish, but if you've ever wondered if you could actually put someone under a spell, I know some people in my YouTube channel were actually asking me the definition of a curse. If you want to know about how to actually influence people in a way that is kind of like Jedi mind tricks or spells, there are, if you really pay attention, I mean, like really pay attention, there are clues in this training that will allow you to begin the process of doing that. And it starts with one of the very first things that I began the webinar with, which is vibrational state control. Okay. One of the things we need to understand, and this is really important, is that everything human beings do is in response to a feeling. It's either a feeling they want more of or a feeling they want a whole lot less of. Okay. Now we're gonna crack that nut much more in depth as we go through tonight's webinar. But that's the first piece that I want you to write down. Everything human beings do is in response to a feeling. It's either a feeling they want more of or a feeling they want a whole lot less of. Okay. Are you with me so far? Have you written that down? Type yes in the chat. Okay, let me go back to participants. Okay. Okay, cool. All right. So here's what we're going to do. This is, again, the plan for tonight. Let me go back to sharing my screen so you guys can see this. It takes me a little longer to change Jet Webinar, so you just kind of have to bear with me on this one, folks. There we go. Okay. If you stay till the end of tonight's webinar, here's my personal promise to you. I will teach you the fastest, most powerful and direct way to reprogram your mind and magnetize yourself for unlimited success, health, wealth, and happiness using the real laws of attraction, not the direct that you see in a lot of these courses, okay? I'm gonna show you how to remove blocks to your manifestation success. Let me go to gallery. Can I do this? Yeah, okay, good. I'm going to show you how to get rid of negative emotions like fear, pain, and limiting beliefs that you may not have even realized that you had. That's a big one. You should probably write that down right next to everything human beings do is in response to a feeling. I'm going to tie all these little pieces together for you in over the next few minutes. If you like the exact steps necessary to go from interesting information to maximum manifestation in minimum time, you're going to want to stay till the end of the webinar. Now, let me tell you how I'm going to do that. Let me go back to sharing screen again. And now we're going to go to my OneNote. I'm actually hopping back and forth between multiple windows. So it takes me a little bit longer to kind of get these things lined up. Share screen, window. Okay. So here's my plan. And if you like it, cool. If not, you might want to click away now. All right, so here we go. We're going to talk about why the law of attraction may not be working for you, okay? We're going to talk about, in brief, the two most important factors to success. And when I talk about success, that's also success in manifesting the things that you want. We're going to talk about the 3 ingredients to achievement. These are things that I learned a very long time ago. I found them to be true. And whether you're here for the process of manifesting, it's doubly true in the field of success and performance enhancement. We're going to talk about the rules of the mind, the ones they didn't tell you about. We're going to talk about something I've come to call body-centered energy psychology. Now, some of the people in YouTube were asking about, can you do energy spinning on something like ADHD? And I said, I don't know, I've never tried it, right? Give it a shot and let us know what happens. But I recommended that they get training in what we call the somatic search engine concept. The somatic search engine concept is part of the body-centered energy psychology training. We're going to show you very fast, rapid, and powerful ways to reprogram your subconscious mind. And we're going to teach you how to program your future and clear your past. Ultimately, everything in this webinar throughout the full 3 hours is designed to teach you how to take control and how to get the life that you want the way that you want it. If that sounds like a good plan, please type in the chat that you're ready to go and that you're willing to follow all instructions. Okay. So I'm going to jump out of screen share for now. And let me get out of this really quick. Hold on a second. I got to move windows around. All right. Cool. All right, so let's talk about the first thing I want to talk about. At the beginning of today's webinar, I mentioned that everything human beings do is in response to a feeling. It's either a feeling they want more of or a feeling they want a whole lot less of, okay? So how many of you, by typing in the chat, that's me, would like to be up to 30 or 31% better at everything? Go ahead and type that in the chat. I know that sounds like a no-brainer, right? But you'd be amazed sometimes how many times people say, they go to answer that, and all of a sudden they have that little icky naggy feeling in their mind or body. And it's like, maybe I don't want that, right? So go ahead and type that in the chat for me. Cool. All right. Let's talk about that whole idea, right? So let's talk about state control. When we talk about state control, the important thing to remember is that everything human beings do is in response to a feeling. The posture and breathing components of your, so in other words, my physiology controls my psychology, okay? If I assume a certain type of posture and a certain breathing pattern, my neurology will start to access certain emotional states. How many of you, by a show of hands, or that's me in the chat, have heard of something called power poses by a lady named Amy Cuddy? If you haven't, after you've upgraded to your program in this webinar, go check out her video, her TED Talk called Power Poses. If you haven't done so already, one of the reasons that I recommend that is we've been teaching the power of posture and breathing to transform your mind-body states for almost 20 some years now. But Amy actually did the actual science on it. So the fastest way to completely control your states in the most bulletproof way humanly possible is through posture and breathing. So what does that have to do with becoming up to 31% better at everything? The secret to accessing your neurology in a way that gives you more resources is to be playful, easygoing, explorational. Playful and curious are the two most powerful emotional states that you can be in that gives you access to the maximum amount of your cognitive resources. All right. So what we're going to do right now is we are going to go through a couple of drills together that teach you how to get into that fun, playful state. Would that be useful? Okay, you guys ready? Okay, so here's the deal. Before we get into this, this is going to involve you actually standing a certain way, breathing a certain way, and using your mind in a certain way. You have to integrate all of these things. If you are driving or operating machinery or doing anything that requires your complete and undivided attention, do not do the following set of exercises. You follow me? Do not do them. If you want to have the experience, then what you need to do is you need to pull over to the side of the road or into a parking lot, put the car in park, turn on the emergency brake, turn off the car, maybe put on your four-way so you don't cause an accident, and then do these drills. Okay, so if you are doing this and you are engaged in anything that requires your full and undivided attention, you're doing this at your own risk. However, when you take the time to do this exercise, when it's appropriate for you to do this, you will be on the fast track to controlling your manifestation abilities. We're going to go through a bunch of drills that are going to give us a better understanding of how our autonomic nervous system, our subconscious mind, our conscious mind, and our other than conscious mind can be integrated to get the maximum amount of transformation in the shortest amount of time possible. You don't need to know why it works. You just need to do it. Best part is you don't even need to believe it. As long as you can adopt a fun, playful, curious, explorational attitude, these things will work for you. Now, how do I know that? Because there's science that backs it up. Science that was conducted in some of the most rigorous environments you can imagine, specifically hostage negotiation. FBI behavioral analysis discovered that when the hostage negotiator entered into a negotiation with a hostage taker, the bad guy who was in a decidedly evil mood, and he or she approached that interaction with a more relaxed, easygoing, fun, and playful energy, he was up to 31% more perceptive, 31% more aware, 31% more creative in their abilities to solve problems, among other things. The other aspect of that was that his counterpart, the hostage negotiator, or hostage taker rather, the hostage taker was up to 31%, wait for it, more compliant. Is there anybody on the webinar who would like anybody they interact with to be 31% more likely to do what you wanted them to do? Would that be a useful superpower to have? Right? Here's all you got to do. Move through the world embodying a fun, playful, curious, explorational energy, and everyone you interact with will be up to 31% more compliant. Now, those of you who are here to learn about attraction applications, not law of attraction applications, but attraction dating applications. When you move through the world with a fun, playful, curious energy, it lowers the defenses of the people you approach and talk to. It makes them far more likely to actually want to spend time with you and get to know you. So there's no downside to this. The one thing I'm going to caution you against is becoming too serious about any of this. Seriousness is the kiss of death. Seriously. The more serious you are, the more you cut yourself off from resources, you stress the body out, and you start blocking things in your mind and body. Are we cool with that? Are we clear? For those of you who are martial artists, you want to be better at sparring? Be playful. Right? Hold on a second. All right. So let me see what we're at. So we got 102 people in the chat, plus whoever's on our YouTube. Okay. So if you're ready, let's do this. All right. Now, I'm not going to ask you to type in the chat while we're doing certain exercises. Okay. We're going to do a bunch of exercises before we hit part 2 of the webinar. These are all going to lay foundations for you, things that you're going to be able to build upon in part 3. Okay. And if you take our offer in part 2, then you're going to go through the freaking roof with this stuff. So first and foremost, I want you to close your eyes and remember a time in your life when you were feeling great. You were feeling fun, playful, curious, like you were just interested in discovering what there was to discover in a fun, playful, explorational way. You weren't married to the outcome. You just wanted to see what would happen or what something was about. I want you to remember that time in your mind. Flow back on the wings of time to that experience. Remember in that moment, what were you seeing? What were you hearing? What were you smelling and what were you tasting? Because when you do that, when you see what you see and you hear what you hear, and you smell and you taste what you smell and you taste, there is an amazing, wonderful feeling that you get, a feeling of fun, playful, curious exploration. Now, as you remember that feeling, I want you to notice there's a place in your body where those amazing feelings start, where they grow, where they spread from. Take a moment, just point to where you feel it. And now close your eyes and look at that spot with your inner eyes. Looks like some people had some problems on our YouTube channel. I'm not sure what's going on there. Stay with us and it'll come back, okay? Notice there's a color connected to that feeling. What's that color to you, first impression? Now imagine a brilliant ball of that energy floating above your head. Notice how the feelings in your body shift and change as with every breath you take and every beat of your heart, that ball of energy begins to grow. It begins to expand. It begins to fill your entire being from the top of your head to the tips of your toes and all points in between. Notice how it wraps itself around you like an amazing blanket of exploration, fun, curiosity, easygoingness, playfulness, a cocoon, a shield, a suit of armor, insulating you, protecting you from all seriousness, all downers, real or imagined, while at the same time flooding your mind, flooding your body, flooding your spirit with everything it most wants and everything it most needs, with an infinite, ever-expanding and unlimited supply. And when you know you've got that, breathe those amazing colors through your entire being. Let it fill you up like water fills up a bottle, like fluid fills up a test tube, like hot air or helium fills up a balloon. Anchor it in so fully, so completely, no force in the universe can turn it off or take it away, not even you. And as you breathe that energy through your being, notice how your posture begins to shift and change into a more playful, fun-loving physiology. Let your body just assume that energy, that physical posture and breathing pattern that goes along with those amazingly cool feelings. And realize that anytime you want to, anytime you need to, if you want to embody this fun, playful, easygoing state, all you have to do is stand this way. All you have to do is breathe those colors through your body, wrap it around you over and over again, and this feeling will come flooding back to you. Now, I want to show you something about your nervous system so that you can tap into the magic anytime you want. As you remember, when we see what we see and we hear what we hear, and we smell and we taste what we smell and we taste, there is an amazing, powerful, transformational feeling of playfulness and curiosity. And remember that there was a place in your body where those feelings started, where they grew and where they spread from. Point once again to where you feel it. Now, if there was a picture floating in the space around you, a picture that you could reach out and touch, take your other hand, reach out and touch that picture. When you find it, first impression, trace the outline of it with both of your hands so you know how big it is. When you know you've got that, grab it with both of your hands. And just to make sure we've got the right one, make that picture bigger, expand it to fill the entire room, like you would expand the window on your touch screen or your iPhone or your cell phone. Notice what happens to the feelings in your body. Do they get stronger or do they get weaker? Whatever you do, whatever you notice is perfectly okay. This is the learning phase. Take that picture now, shrink it back down to its original size. Now keep the size of the picture exactly the same. And as you do that now, slowly pull it closer to your body. Make sure to keep the size of the picture exactly the same. And notice, does that feeling get stronger or does it get weaker? Whichever one you do is perfectly okay. This is the learning and exploration phase. Now take this picture, lift it up over your head. Imagine now you could pull it down around you like a big blanket. And notice what happens to the feeling now. Does it get stronger or does it get weaker? You can answer later, just have the experience right now. When you know you've got that, I want you to unwrap it, lift it up over your head. And now I'm sure you all know what a Frisbee is. I want you to imagine now that this picture that you're holding is now shaped like a Frisbee. And I want you to take that Frisbee that you're holding, and I want you to throw it all the way behind you. Whoosh, until it disappears all the way behind you. When it disappears behind you, scan your body. Notice what happens to the feelings in your body when that picture disappears. When you've made that discovery, you've calibrated that. Now imagine, you could lift your hands above your head once again. Imagine your hands are now the world's most powerful Frisbee magnets. I want you to suck that Frisbee right back into your hands. And I want you to hold it up there above your head. And as you hold it above your head, I'm going to teach you an important concept for unleashing the magic inside of you. Inside your mind, body, and soul, you are the god or goddess of your reality. You are the king or queen of your universe. And you have absolutely every right, privilege, permission, and authority to make any change you want for any reason that you want. And I want you to play with that new power of yours right now. I want you to take this picture that you're holding, and I want you to move it around. I want you to move it down, move it up, move it side to side, move it in your body, move it out of your body, play with the size of it. Notice how each and every time you change the size, shape, or location of this picture, the feelings and the intensity and the quality of the feelings in your body change too. And I want you to keep playing with it until you find the exact size, shape, and location that gives you the exact feeling that you want to have at the exact intensity level that you want to have it. And when you find that sweet spot, I want you to fix it into place. Fix it into place. And notice how the feelings in your body shift and change as the energy from that picture flows into your body, from your body to your heart, from your heart to your bloodstream, and from your bloodstream, every place your blood flows, those feelings go into every nerve and every cell and every atom, into the very DNA of those cells, reprogramming, transforming, turning each and every cell of your body into a powerful, perpetual pleasure factory. Each cell of your body generating more and more fun, excitement, curiosity, exploration in an infinite, ever expanding, and unlimited supply. There's no need to measure it, manage it, or make it happen faster. Just notice the process taking place. Allow it to install itself completely. And when you know it's locked in, impossible to go back, test it. Try to turn it off, try to take it away, and notice what happens instead. Take all the time you need in the next couple moments to let that change lock in. And when you got it and you know it's locked in, type locked in the chat. Thomas says, can I eat it? If you really want to. Thomas says it worked. Can't focus. Gary says locked in. Leanne says trying. Locked in, Chris says. Excellent. Craig says locked in. Andy, yep, good. Now, I'm curious about something. Real quick, again, we have a lot to cover in tonight's webinar. In this one set of drills, I just gave you some of the most powerful master keys to reprogramming and manifesting anything you want. Okay, we'll get into the nuts and bolts a little bit later, but this was something that needed to happen first. You needed, without any pre-programming, without any pre-suggestion, an experience of the magic and the power of your own neurology. Once you understand the full scope of what you just did, you'll be able to remove any limiting belief, manifest anything you want, change any fear, phobia, or even pain, physical or emotional pain that you're experiencing. It's all in this one set of drills that we just did, but we're laying the foundation. The foundation is fun, playful, curious. If we have that, we got the kingdom. Now, let me circle back. Happiness brings attraction in the universe, which gives generously. Okay, that's one way of looking at it. And again, that's not how I would word it, but those things are not wrong. So here's the thing I want you to understand. At the beginning of this webinar, okay, at the beginning of this webinar, I said something that is the foundation of everything else. I said, everything human beings do is in response to a feeling they either want more of or a feeling they want a whole lot less of. Do you guys remember when I said that? Yes or yes? Okay. Now, there is a part of your neurology known as the reticular activating system. In other videos earlier on my YouTube channel, you may have heard me talk about something called the emotional refractory period. Do any of you remember me talking about that? Okay. For those of you who may not be familiar with that term, the emotional refractory period was a term coined by the great Dr. Paul Ekman to describe the effect of the reticular activating system. So what it basically does is it is a perceptual filter. In other words, it decides based on your physical body feelings, your emotional body feelings, what information to pay attention to at any given moment. So, for example, if I enter a room in a good mood and there are 10 data points in that room that I can pay attention to, okay, just 10 pieces of information that I can pay attention to. 2 of them are negative. 8 of them are positive. If I enter that room in a negative state, guess which data points my neurology focuses on first? Type it in the chat. Two negative ones, negative, negative, yes. Now, I'm going to give you a little sidebar here. Your neurology has a negativity bias. Okay, that ratio is 4 to 1. Okay, we'll talk more about that later. But yes, you were all right. If I go into that room in a negative state, 8 of those data points are positive, 2 are negative, but because of my state, my nervous system gives priority to the negative data points. Okay. If I go into that room in a positive state, what happens? It's probably intuitive, right? I focus on the positive things. Now, how does this relate to the law of attraction? How many people here would like to be more lucky in their life? Yes or yes? Okay. I did a product course many years ago called Get Lucky for Life. Okay. One of the things that researchers wanted to know is if this luck shit was real. In other words, are there in fact people who have a higher than average number of serendipitous events in their positive serendipitous events in their life? And if that was true, were there certain psycho-emotional behavioral characteristics that facilitate this? In other words, they were trying to separate the woo from the do. In other words, what are these people doing that actually causes them, I like that, separate the woo from the do. Yeah, so that actually causes them to be lucky. And so they set up a series of experiments, and they did a double-blind laboratory controlled study. They took 3 groups. They had a control group, people who were just average. They had another group of people who considered themselves to be extra lucky, luckier than average. They literally identified as lucky people. And then they took people who identified as unlucky. This original research was done in the UK. So one of the first things that they did was they rented a restaurant for the weekend, and they hired actors to go in and play the patrons. And they took a 20-pound note and they put it on the floor in the restaurant, and then they sent each of these groups in one at a time. And as you can probably guess, the average people, they found the 20-pound note within a certain amount of time, about 50% of the time. Like half the time they didn't see it, half the time they did. Pretty much 100% of the people who went into, of the lucky people who went into that restaurant, instantly zeroed in on the 20-pound note, picked it up, and were 20 pounds richer. As far as we can tell, the unlucky people are still trying to find the restaurant. Okay. There are a set of perceptual filters that people who identify as being lucky turn on. Okay. There are other behavioral and perceptual filters in place. Why is this important? Because part of the neurology that controls those perceptual filters is your reticular activating system, which changes your perceptual filters. In other words, what you pay attention to based on the body feelings that you have. So if your feelings are positive, you're going to be luckier than if your feelings are not. Okay, you guys get the connection? Does this all make sense to you, why we did this? Type in the chat, please, so I know you're with me. Okay. Now, here's another energetic reason why this is important. First of all, we all know that the law of attraction tells us that higher vibrational states control and break up lower vibrational states. So let me ask you a question. Which state has a higher vibration? Joy or sadness? Which has a higher vibrational state? Curiosity or boredom or seriousness? Curiosity, of course, right? See where this is going? What has a higher vibration? Gratitude or envy? Exactly. The more you can embody these states, the more rapidly your entire neurology and the consciousness that arises from it will change. Now, all spirituality aside, we talk about on a functional level, what is consciousness? What does that actually mean? On a functional level. Now, again, I'm training with some amazing people in advanced spiritual practices, mystery schools, things of that nature. We could talk about spirituality all day long, but that doesn't help most of you, unfortunately. So when we talk about changing our consciousness, okay, if we talk about changing our consciousness, what does that actually mean? It means, what are the things on a functional level? Please understand, this is a functional, practical understanding of consciousness. It's what we're paying attention to and the meanings that we assign to what we're paying attention to. So in other words, when we start to look at consciousness, we're looking at the data that we're receiving and then and the meanings that we attach to those things, right? Does that make sense? If you're with me so far, type I'm with you in the chat. Okay. So if we want to raise our consciousness, if we want to change the things we attract, we have to raise our vibration. Now, that means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. One of the most traumatic classes I ever took was a class on manifestation. Okay, I literally was fetal on the floor for 2 straight days. Why is that? Because I had to get rid of shit. There were things that I had stuff down that I had acquired that were locking me down, were keeping me from manifesting the things I want. And in order to become the person who could have those things, I had to let go of stuff that needed to go. Does that make sense? It's not, and by the way, this is something most of you wouldn't know, but when I'm teaching a manifestation class, like this law of attraction class that we're in right now, and I ask people what they want to focus on, manifesting new stuff or getting rid of shit, guess what they choose? The answer may surprise you. Guess what they choose? Getting rid of, Gary, you're cheating. Getting rid of shit. That's right. Why? Because there's a part of you that knows the things you want aren't going to happen until you become the person for whom that thing can happen to. Okay. So part of any form of manifestation training is about clearing out the crap, right? Okay. So what are some reasons why the law of attraction doesn't work? Most of them go to a lower vibration and your perceptual filters, what you're focusing on, what you believe you deserve. Okay. So let me go through a really, let me close the loop on this feeling thing. We talk about being of a higher vibration, right? So the big picture is the sum total of your body feelings. The sum total of your body feelings is equivalent to the energetic signature that you're sending out to the universe. So the universe will pull things into your life that are in harmony with your dominant vibrational signature. Does that make sense? So the more we can raise your total, the aggregate of your body feelings and your perceptual filters, the more rapidly you're going to manifest stuff. Okay. So on a functional level, the vibrations you're sending out into the universe are analogous to your body feelings. They will create the direction of your thoughts. They will modulate the perceptions of the world around you, what you think you can have and what you believe you deserve. Everything will be distilled down to a body feeling. The fastest thing we can do right away to amplify and accelerate manifestation is change our body feelings. I gave you that with these sets of drills. Does that make sense? Okay, let's talk about some of the other reasons why the law of attraction may not work. Okay, I'm going to go through this list really, really quickly. If any of this applies to you, just make a note of it so we can circle back in part 3 and start to deal with some of this stuff. Hold on a second. Let me go to, if you said it, it makes sense. Thank you, Jeffrey. Let's see here. I know I'm going a little fast, but I have so much I want to teach you guys, and I want to keep to the timetable I set. So it gives me roughly about 20 minutes before I have to go to part 2, and I don't want to do that until we've gotten a couple of more exercises in. So please bear with me. Share screen, window, and here we go. Okay, so that's one screen shared, another screen shared, and let's jump in. All right, so why the law of attraction sometimes doesn't work. So you will attract, let me go to gallery view for you guys. Okay, you will attract into your life the situations and circumstances and events that are in harmony with your dominant thoughts. Therein lies one of the problems, guys. You see, most of the law of attraction authorities didn't really elaborate for you what your dominant thoughts actually are. So let me ask you a question really, really quick. You may have noticed this during the first set of drills that we did. When you were being fun, playful, explorational, did anybody notice that as they were playing with those feelings, like in the foreground, there was this big, fun, playful energy, but in the background, almost like a little tiny tap on the shoulder, you had this little icky, niggling little crappy feeling, like something crappy wanted to come out? Anybody notice that? Type in the chat if you noticed that. Okay. Congratulations, you've just become 100% more self-aware and able to manifest what you want. Let me explain that. You see, we think that what we consciously think about is our dominant thought. The thought that we're holding in our conscious mind at any given moment is the actual dominant thoughts. That's actually incorrect. If you've ever tried to focus your conscious mind on anything for any length of time, you'll notice that you get distracted really freaking quick, right? But have you ever noticed that every time you try to do something positive or think something positive, these nagging feelings automatically always come up? True, not true? True, not true? Okay. Why is that? It's because as we move through the world and we encounter traumatic events, things that program us in a negative way, that curse us, for lack of a better word. Each moment we have one of those boundary violations, your neurology reaches up, grabs a hold of that experience, locks it in a little time bubble, and stores it in your body like a file on a hard drive. Now, what most people don't realize is that the moment your neurology reaches up and vibrationally grabs those memories, it's like a little mini universe on automatic pilot, and it's on an endless loop. And anytime you get near something that is similar to that event, it's like it references it and it brings it up to the surface for you to deal with. A lot of you won't know this reference, but in Chinese medicine, we talk about things like excess hot heat and excess cold, right? And one of the things about, and even deficient cold and deficient heat, one of the hallmarks of somebody who has an excess heat condition or a deficient or an excess cold condition is that if they get anywhere near something that's hot or something that's cold, they feel an instant pain. They feel an instant discomfort in the area where that cold is lodged. This is a phenomenon that also happens anytime you get near a situation, circumstance, or event that has anything to do with one of those little bubbles, those little files that you've locked down in your mind and body. Okay? And every time you get near it, your neurology wants to warn you about it, but also it wants to give you the opportunity to clear it up. Unfortunately, most of us don't understand that dynamic. And so what do? We stuff it back down. How many of you, fun factoid, how many of you have been ever driving down the road in your car, having and it's a beautiful sunny day, maybe your favorite song is playing on the radio, right? And all of a sudden, a shitty memory from when you were 7 pops up out of nowhere. Or when you were 20, pops out of nowhere, right? What the hell's going on with that, right? It's because your unconscious mind is down there, he's watching you, and he's thinking to himself, he's not doing anything right now. Maybe we can finally handle this. And up comes this shitty memory. And what do? Do you go pulling off to the side of the road, put in the car and park, and go immediately into it so you can clear it up and remove it? No, you do what 99% of us do. So that's a shitty memory. I'm going to deal with that later. Well, guess what you just did? That energy was trying to come up so you could process it. You took another heap of energy, lapped it on top, and stuffed it back down. Eventually, that energy builds up to create a stronger and stronger and stronger vibrational signature that can actually create bad health. It can manifest as a tumor, a lesion, chronic constipation, any form of chronic illness that you can name. You can track it back to an emotional cause that's been stuffed. Okay, I was dealing with this for 15 years in my private practice, and now that I'm doing the Chinese energetic medicine, they're saying, yes, you were right. There's all this stuff that people have stuffed down that they're not dealing with. Okay, you need to clear that shit. But one of the problems in the law of attraction is nobody told you what your dominant thoughts actually were. Now you know. The dominant thoughts are those icky, naggy feelings that are in the back of your mind that come up when you're trying to do something positive, or in those moments when you're not concentrating on anything and starting well up from the surface. The more rapidly that you deal with those, and we're going to do that in part 3, The more rapidly you deal with those, the more rapidly your vibration is going to raise, and the easier it is for you to start pulling things into your life that are in harmony with the new normal that you've set. You guys with me so far? Okay, let me just go to my, is this useful? Is this helpful? Or am I just kind of blowing wind? All right, there's another technique I want to share with you right now. And this is probably one of the single most powerful things I can do for you. And depending on which class you're in with me, we call this the emotional motivation checklist. Remind me at the, and by the way, these are all the other reasons why your law of attraction stuff might not work. And we cover these in the Hidden Laws of Attraction program. We'll be talking about very shortly. So these are all things that can short circuit you. But the biggest ones I see more than anything else is the vibrational disconnect that people have. So I need to find, just give me a moment. I think it's under identity. Here we go. Okay, so a lot of these things go back to identity. Who are you and what do you feel that you deserve? What is your self-concept, your life experience and belief systems? What do you deserve in terms of how you've created that memory construct, or what we call a holographic memory unit? There's two kinds of beliefs: beliefs you know about and beliefs you don't. What you just discovered with this one exercise, when you had the positive feelings and the negative feelings in the background, what you just discovered were the beliefs you didn't know about, the beliefs that are secretly poisoning and tainting your ability to manifest the life you want the way that you want it. The reasons that your neurology creates for not taking action, they're all connected to these little icky naggy feelings in the back. Now, once you become aware of them, I'm going to show you a very quick and easy, direct way to start changing them and getting rid of them. Okay. A lot of us think that beliefs are these big, unchangeable, iceberg-sized programs that run our lives. They're actually not. They're actually decisions we made in the moment based on the information that we had and the body feelings we had at the time. They create a construct that creates a belief system for us. We have about 14 different reframing patterns that we teach in our advanced persuasion and influence courses, as well as our self-help programs that can allow you to change those beliefs very, very quickly. We're going to talk a little bit about those things in part 3. What we're going to do now is, would it be useful? Let me ask this question really quick. Would it be useful if we could quickly get our neurology fired up and motivated? Would that be helpful? If we could just blast procrastination out of the way, or get yourself fired up to do something. And what if we could also, just an idea, what if we could also transmit and use that same process to get other people fired up so they would want to do what we want them to do for their own selfish reasons? So to create a powerful win-win. Would that be something you don't want? Okay, so if that's the case, you're going to want to pay really close attention to this next piece. This is something that I learned many, many years ago in my extensive classical NLP training, and I'm amazed even to this day how underutilized it is. So let's talk about something called the emotional motivation checklist. Okay. Let me find it here on my screen, and then we'll talk about it. Oh, here it is. Okay. So for this next exercise, you're going to need a pen and a paper. And again, you don't want to be driving when you're doing this. Okay. Okay, let me go to my gallery section here. Hold on a second. Okay, so I'm going to make this a little bit bigger so you guys can take a screenshot of it. Sorry. Let me make this I'll just expand this and type in the chat when you've done the screenshot. Okay. Again, this is free for you. If you understand this process, right? If you understand this process that we're doing right now, you've just been given the golden ticket to making more sales, getting more dates, having better friends, motivating and inspiring and leading your teams better, creating more teams, hiring better employees, getting hired for better jobs, even if you're not qualified. All of that comes from this one technique. Okay. So when you've got it, you just type, I got it in the chat, and we'll move on. Looks like it's too small. Got it. All right. Let me see if I can, I know I can do a gallery view on this screen here. Okay. Gallery view. Okay. So I'm sorry. I apologize for how small it is. If anybody needs to, type in the chat at the end of the webinar or in the comment section, and I'll see if I can post a PDF of it. Now, here's how this works. You guys ready to do some drills? Get some skills? Yes or yes? Okay, Sue says it's better now. Okay. When we apply this process, to ourselves, it's called the emotional motivation checklist. When we apply this to other people, the way we teach it in Secrets of Human Influence or Killer Influence or Identity by Design. Mary, I'm still sharing the screen, so you can probably, if you just zoom in, you can probably get a screen. We're going to walk through it together. Now, for this, like I said, you're going to want to handwrite this stuff out, but this is the template that you follow. Okay, so the first thing is I want you to stop for a moment. It only goes to D. That's okay. It's all as far, that's all the further it goes. You don't need the other stuff, right? The most important thing right now is just getting the A through D, and I'll show the rest of it. Okay, guys, relax. It's okay. I'll give you a chance to screenshot it and copy it down. It's not going anywhere. Okay, but for some reason my screen keeps creeping down. That's creepy. I think I got a ghost in my machine here. Is somebody moving my? That's just weird. All right. Anyway, it's not showing at all. Is it showing now? All right. It might be. Ever since I started doing this Qigong training, I've been screwing up machines worse than you. You know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to go ahead and expand. I'm just going to let you see this, and then I'm just going to talk you through it. So you should be able to see the whole thing now. Okay. All right. So here's what's going to happen. I want you to get out a sheet of paper. And I want you to close your, and a pen. Now I want you to close your eyes for a moment. And what I want you to do is I want you to think about right before you chose to sign up for this webinar. I want you to remember what it was specifically that you wanted to get as a byproduct from this webinar. In other words, when you register for this webinar, you wanted to use these skills to manifest something, right? What is it that you wanted as a byproduct from this webinar? Okay. And I want you to physically write it down. So maybe you're someone who wanted to become more attractive to the opposite sex, right? Well, write that down. What do you want? Become more attractive to the opposite sex. Maybe you're someone who wanted more coaching clients. Well, write down to get more coaching clients. Maybe you wanted to get a pay raise at your job. Write down to get a pay raise from my next job. Right? Whatever it is, just write that and use the exact words. Whatever pops into your head first, don't edit it. Don't edit it. Just write it down. Okay. I'll explain to you why the exact words you use are so critical in part 3 of the webinar. Now, under that, you'll notice what says I, our little number 1. Write that question out. What's it going to do for you? In other words, once I become more attractive to the opposite sex, once I get more coaching clients, once I get my next 6-figure job or 6-figure rent income, what's that going to do for you? Right? Just write that down. What's it going to do for you? Right? Pay attention to the exact words that pop up in your mind and put them on the page. Okay. Then you're going to B, you're going to look at the answer to the last question. You're going to say, what's important to you about that? You got the six-figure income, you got the more coaching clients, and it's doing this thing for you. What's this thing that it's doing for you? What's important to you about that? Right. So it might be, what do you want from this webinar? I want to be more attractive to the opposite sex. What's it going to do for you? It's going to make me feel better about myself. I'm going to be happier. I'm going to get the love I want the way I want it. Right. Well, you might take one of those or all of them. In fact, all of them is probably better, and ask the question, well, what's important to you about getting the love you want the way that you want it? Right. And that might be, well, I'll know that I'm a worthy person. I know that I'm a good person. I got the wife I want, right? I feel good. Now, if at any point you hit, I feel good, that's usually as far as you need to go. But if another level comes up, you just keep drilling down until you feel secure, you feel good, you feel happy, you worthwhile, you feel secure, whatever you come out to. We usually go about 3 or 4 levels deep with this, but you just keep asking the what's important about question. Okay. So I want you to just go through that questionnaire and apply the next question to the previous answer until you've drilled down to ultimately, if you had all the things that you just listed, what would that do for you and what's important about having it or about it? Okay, and write that answer out. I need you to write these out. Okay, you're going to be amazed at what happens in your mind and body in just a few seconds. Okay, so let me go ahead and shrink this down. And let me go to my participants. Okay. Okay. Okay, good. Now, have you written it all down? Type yes if you've written it all down. Excellent. Okay. Now, what I want you to do, let me get my pen. What I want you to do is I want you to take the sheet that you've written these things on. Now, if you could hold it at about a 45-degree angle, I can't do it without screwing up my camera, but if you could hold it at about a 45-degree angle to your eyes, what I want you to do is I want you to do something. I want you to read only the answers. Read only the answers to the questions. I want you to read them out loud 5 times. In other words, read them out loud from A to D 5 times. Go ahead and do that. And type done in the chat when you did it. One second, I need to change my screen. That's good. Okay. So let me ask you guys a question. What happened to the feelings in your body? What happened to the feelings in your body when you read those questions out loud? Type in the chat what happened. Thomas says, I felt love and peace. Danny Snow says better, feels better. Feel warm, Christopher says. Made it feel right, felt good. Didn't notice feelings, okay. Okay, more on purpose, beautiful. Okay, so were these, by and large, were these good feelings? Yes or yes? Were these good feelings? Okay. What you've just done is you've tapped into your own emotional motivation checklist. Remember I said at the beginning of the webinar, everything human beings do is in response to a feeling they either want more of or a feeling they want a whole lot less of. You guys remember that? Yes or yes? Okay. What did your desire for these things, when you started listing these things out, what happened to your desire for them? Did they go up or down? Right? You pretty much started, a lot of people salivated, right? Did you get emotional when you did it? Did you feel emotional? A lot of you said neutral, which means we have some clearing to do. Okay. Now, think about this for a moment. What if you could have not just you, but anyone you meet feeling exactly the same way about your product or service? What would that do to your life? How would that change your life? How would that change your life? Work a normal day and be happy, more confident? For sure, right? All right. So I told you at the beginning of this webinar, I would guide you through some experiences that would lay the foundation for what we're going to do in part 3. And I also told you I would take you as far as I could in the time that we have, and I'd point you in the direction of where to go to take the next level. Right? Are you guys ready to take it to the next level? Would you like to know how to take things up a notch? Yes or yes? Okay. So we're going to enter part 2 of the webinar now. So with your permission, I'd like to share with you some programs we've put together, some events we've got coming up that will build on this foundation and help and give you the complete access to the system. Then in part 3, we're going to circle back. We're going to build on these foundations. We're going to give you some more powerful techniques to clear that shit up and program your future. And we're going to customize the content. So without further ado, and with your permission, I would like to present to you the Hidden Laws of Attraction Manifestation Mastery Home Study Course. This is a course that I put together to help people transform their lives based on all of my systems and my technologies to help you do this from the privacy of your own home and show you how to take your life to the next level. So with that being said, let's jump in. So what's included in this home study course? First of all, the home study course is all about taking your life to the next level. It's going to teach you how to attract more money into your life, how to close more deals with your prospects, how to get more dates, help more people and feel more confident, and overall empower you to live the life you want the way that you want it. It's going to teach you it's going to show you how to automatically become more charming, charismatic, and irresistible. It's going to remove the blocks to your success, remove the limiting beliefs that you have, and give you a step-by-step action plan to utilize the law of attraction in a pretty much bulletproof way. Using the techniques in this system, I have manifested patently impossible stuff. This offer is good until tonight, actually. That's a typo, February 15th, 2023, 11:59 p.m. So pardon my typo. What you're going to get. The Ultimate Manifestation Mastery Home Study Course is going to teach you systematically how to unlock the power of your subconscious mind to quickly manifest anything you desire and find and remove blocks to your health, wealth, success, and happiness. The blocks you didn't even know that you had. We've started you on that process. But once you find them, what do you do about it? We're going to give you a couple of different sample platter pieces from the whole system so you can begin to do that in part 3. We're going to teach you how to become more magnetic to money, how to influence people remotely, how to find and remove the hidden negativity that you didn't even know you had so you can clear up issues that just don't seem to go away. If you ever had an issue that you went to somebody for help, they put you through a process and then it went from like a 9 to a 2 or a 9 to a 1, and then it just wouldn't get any better, or it went away completely, and then within a few days, it came back. You're dealing with what we call a safety issue or a safety lesson. We're going to teach you very precise techniques for removing those things and getting that stuff out of your neurology, physiology, energy body, and spirit body once and for all, so you can keep all the lessons, let everything else go. It's very simple, but your neurology, in many cases, doesn't have a set procedure for doing that. So we're going to install that for you. We're going to teach you the powerful new Yinformation method for programming your mind to attract the things you want and change what you feel you deserve. This is actually one of the most powerful neurological hacks we've ever come across for taking a classical affirmation and transforming it into something absolutely nuclear. You'll accomplish more change in your mind and body in 5 to 10 of these powerful Yinformations than you would from any 50 of the classical affirmations. We call this neurologically enhanced self-programming or self-suggestion. It's amazing once you understand this simple tactic, and it will completely change and transform your life and generate more energy and vitality in your mind and body. We're going to show you how to systematically delete the negativity and vibrational imprints from your past, so that when you look back on the past, you no longer remember it the old way. You only see it in ways that make your life better. And then finally, we're going to install the traits, qualities, and characteristics of people who are naturally lucky, one of which is the identity principle. They identify as being lucky people, but there's 4 other traits that all lucky people share. We're going to show you in this course how to systematically delete the things that block you and install the things that make you more lucky. So if you've ever been wanting to up your luck quotient, this is the fastest way to do it. You'll discover the image cycling process. I call this an engine of transformation. There's about 2 or 3 of them in Planet David, and this is one of them. This is one of the most powerful methods of manifesting pretty much anything you want. I've manifested patently impossible things. This comes from an energy healing system that has the most documented cures of curing rats of cancer in double-blind, placebo-controlled studies. In other words, rats were physically injected with a cancer that is always 100% fatal into a rat bred to be vulnerable to cancer. This process, part of this process, which included image cycling, was used on these rats. And in the vast majority of cases, nearly all the rats were cured of cancer. In fact, the cures were so powerful that when the doctors tried to re-inject the rats with the cancer wouldn't take. That's where this particular, the roots of this particular technique come from. We've used it for manifestation, and it is easily one of the most powerful manifestation and healing, self-healing tools I've ever come across. And you're going to learn exactly how to do it, and you'll get to prove it to yourself and so much more. But we're not going to stop there. It's a total value of $1,997. But if you grab this package today, we're going to include these special free bonuses just for you. First and foremost, we're going to throw in one of our coolest courses I think we've ever done. And this is the Vibrational Influence United Kingdom Special Edition, which includes 2 full days of extra bonus material. Our normal vibrational training is 3 days, where we teach you, you gotta have killer influence to get in the door, right? We're going to teach you how to unlock the secret powers of your neurology and subconscious mind to gain control of your mind and body in ways you never thought possible before, to unlock your unlimited potential, to gain more self-knowledge, self-awareness, to tap into your higher faculties, to harness the forces of the universe, to literally do your bidding. We're going to psychically and energetically protect yourself, how to heal yourself and others, both in person and remotely, how to clear your energy fields, your heart, your chakras, and master your own energy fields, how to manifest anything you want on demand. We'll show you some classic ways for that to do that, and some modern tweaks from NLP that work with these energy systems very, very powerfully to get a whole that's greater than the sum of the parts. As a byproduct of that, you'll find yourself naturally increasing your psychic skills and much, much more. And again, it was filmed live in the United Kingdom. It includes 2 full days of extra bonus material. It's a $2,497 value. We're going to give this to you absolutely free when you grab your course right now. It's a total value is $4,494, but we're not going to stop there, because we want you to have everything. We want you to have the greatest chance of success, the greatest toolkit that could be available to you, all from the comfort of your own home. So we're also going to include, for those of you who have an intense desire to help others and yourself, we're going to include our vibrational healing 3-day transformational boot camp. This is for energy healing and mastery secrets made easy. This again is based on our vibrational influence curriculum, but now the emphasis is on healing, remote healing, in-person healing. You'll learn how to find and remove energetic blocks to your health and wealth and success and happiness, blocks you may not have even known that you had, how to become a master of energy healing. One of the things that we do in this particular course is we actually give you an overview, kind of a summary of all the different models of energy healing that are out there and what categories they fall into, what the strengths of one particular discipline is versus others. Like we have ones called the Reiki model, or the which can be contrasted with the Theta model. In the Reiki model, you're bringing divine energy down and channeling it out. In the Theta model, you're actually bringing that person's consciousness to the divine level and watching the divine energy do the healing. They're kind of the inverse of each other. And you have what I call the Qigong model, or I like to call the Duracell model. This is a model where people build up these tremendous amounts of energy of different types in their body, and they use it much like a surgeon uses it to systematically clear people's energy fields and blocks to success and things of that nature. You'll also learn about the matrix healing model, the pranic healing model, which is a little bit kind of like the Qigong model, but they're a little bit more on the intuitive side. So you'll understand what the strengths and weaknesses of each of these different systems are, how they differ, how they're the same. And underneath it all will be an intensive training and understanding in the Hermetic principles that underlie all energetic, metaphysical, and spiritual systems. That's one of the things that you can kind of take to the bank, is that all systems that work because of a discrete set of principles that are universal to all of them. And once you master those principles and you have an actual concrete methodology for training them, you can make very, very powerful energetic, spiritual, and physical progress in your life. It's very, very powerful. But again, this is once again an emphasis on healing techniques. So if you're a healer, a coach, a therapist, these are very powerful adjuncts to anything you're already doing. You'll learn how to clear up issues that just don't seem to go away, powerful new energy control methods for programming your mind and energy bodies to empower your healing and manifestation skills for maximum results in minimum time, how to remove negativity from your past, energetic and vibrational self-defense secrets, the most powerful engines of personal transformation and healing I've ever discovered, manifestation material, again, and so much more. Again, if you were to buy this through the website, you'd be looking at a total package of $2,497. We're going to give this to you free because we want you to have all the tools. We want you to have all the principles, okay? Total combined value of everything we've talked about so far is $6,991 if you could buy all these things on the website. Some of these things you can, some of these things you can't, but you don't have to pay full price if you grab it during this particular webinar. We're going to talk about the Secrets of Personality Transformation Home Study course. If there was ever a program that gave you hands-on abilities to transform yourself in the shortest amount of time possible, to literally rewrite the building blocks of your identity, your personality, and install things that you want and get rid of the things you don't want, all by yourself in a DIY, do-it-yourself format, this is the course. Secrets of Personality Transformation literally is the gateway to doing any of the other things in our vibrational training systems that you want to do. Okay, it comes at it from the perspective of a hypnotherapy or NLP integrative training, but it guides you through exercise after exercise after exercise that systematically gives you the ability to target the different aspects of your personality and identity. You'll learn how to remove negativity from your mind, body, and spirit that you didn't even know you had, how to remove blocks and limiting beliefs quickly and easily, how to remove blocks that go away and come back, how to install things using that same methodology, how to change that nagging voice inside your head so that it actually builds you up and tells you all the reasons why you deserve things instead of why you don't. Okay, how to move through the world installing these default driver states of playfulness, curiosity, relentlessness, and victory. These are things that, again, are positive, powerful traits that as base states cause you to move through the world from a more empowered consciousness. Plus, you'll learn how to customize and design your own driver states so you have much more freedom and choice in the way you move through the world, right? You saw how easily and rapidly we installed a playful, powerful, positive state at the beginning of today's webinar. We're going to give you an even more powerful methodology to do that in this particular course. Okay, we're going to teach you how to resolve all the negativity from your past so that you only when you look back on the past, you only experience it in ways that make your life better. And then finally, we're going to teach you how to take the qualities, characteristics, and attributes of people you truly like and admire and want to be like, and install them as a genetic template at the DNA level, so that you actually become more like the people that you choose to be like, instead of like the people that nature and the universe and social programming conspired to make you. It's a very powerful program. It utilizes a phenomenon known as deep trance identification, and it can literally give you the ability to custom write the identity you want to move through the world in. Okay. If you've ever seen my video, Captain Jack the Hypnotist or Captain Jack the Acupuncturist, you can see a very powerful example of what that looks like. It's a $2,497 value. We're going to give this to you absolutely free when you grab your package before the end of the webinar. The total combined value for this is $9,488 if you were to buy them individually. We're also going to include, because a lot of you are asking about attraction, we're going to also include a special boutique members only video masterclass. This is a class that we only did twice. It was only done as a special access training. It's called the Soulmate Secrets Masterclass, how to find, identify, and attract the love of your life and actually keep them. It's a $1,997 value. We're going to give this to you absolutely free. In addition to actually learning how to tap into your emotional bonding checklist on a life level, it'll also teach you the qualities and characteristics you want in your ideal mate and how you know you're getting them. You'll also learn the surprising way the chemistries of your body contribute to infatuation, love, and long-term romantic success. How to overcome the soulmate myth. Many different cultures have many different myths about how soulmates work. We're going to talk about them, expose them, and give you a better, more well-rounded understanding of the soulmate phenomena and how you can find yours or your soulmates, as is actually a more accurate way to say it. How to eliminate negative relationship programming from your childhood, how to prepare yourself for enhanced communication with those potential soulmates. Techniques to move from infatuation to love, how to accept change. One of the biggest problems that we have when we're dealing with relationships is that our mates change or don't change in the ways that we want or expect them to. We need to understand how to deal with that one way or another. We're going to talk about how to determine what you actually need in a relationship. This goes to your emotional motivation and your emotional bonding checklist. How to identify the obstacles in your life that are in your way and conquer them. Strategies designed to help you keep the spark in that relationship, and so much more. You'll also discover why you're attracted to certain people. You'll identify family patterns which contribute to your relationships. You'll discover the qualities you most want in a life partner. You'll learn the basic communication patterns and ways to demonstrate your love. You'll discover the difference between sex, sexuality, sensuality, and the role each one plays, and so much more. Okay, this again is a bonus that we're giving. We've only taught this course twice, and we're going to give you a special bonus copy as part of your overall package here today. It's designed to work hand in glove with our Hidden Laws of Attraction training system, as well as some of our attraction products. So this is all about the inner game and the spiritual side of finding your ideal partner. Total combined value, it's a $1,997 value. We're going to give it to you free, and it's yours if you register before the end of the webinar. Total combined value is $11,485. And let's look at what else we got here. Let's see. Okay, so let's look at this. We've got the Hidden Laws of Attraction home study course. It's valued at $1,997. We're also going to include the Vibrational Influence UK program, valued at $2,497. We're going to give that to you free. We're also going to give you the Vibrational Healing 2021 course. We're going to give that to you free as well. It's a $2,497 value. And the Secrets of Personality Transformation home study course, and of course, the super bonus Hidden Laws of Attraction Soulmate Secrets Masterclass, all for free. Actually, it's $2,497 for Secrets of Personality Transformation, and $1,997 value for the Hidden Laws of Attraction Soulmate Secrets Masterclass. Total combined value is $11,485. But as you can probably guess, because you hung out with me, you've played with me, you've done the drills, you've gotten the skills, you can see the transformations as they're happening. Today, I'd like to give you your first exposure to the law of attraction and becoming lucky. I want to give you the best deal humanly possible. because I want you in this program. I want you getting the life you want, the way that you want it, for all the right reasons, and specifically your reasons, the reasons listed in front of you on that sheet of paper. So you won't have to pay $11,485. In fact, you're not even going to have to pay $2,497. It would be a bargain at $6,497 if you did all the math, but we're not even going to charge you that much. We're not even going to make you pay $4,497. We're not going to make you pay $2,497. For those of you who are serious about taking your life to the next level and really want to make things happen in your world, if you like even a little piece of what we got today, you can get everything I've just outlined for you for one low installment of just $14.97. And if you need a little help, we can break that up into 4 easy installments of just $3.97 each. All you need to do to start getting on the fast track to mastering the law of attraction, manifestation, energy healing, and finding your soulmates is go to www.davidsnyder.nlp.com/HOLA. I'm sorry, HLOA. That's www.davidsnyder.nlp.com/HLOA. One more time with feeling, www.davidsnyder.nlp.com/HLOA. Hopefully we'll post that link for our YouTubers shortly. So all you gotta do is click that link in your chat there, and we'll get you going. So for those of you who are wondering, well, I don't know, David, this is I'm not sure if I'm ready for this. Well, you have nothing to risk. You see, I believe so much in the technologies that I'm teaching you. You don't got to believe it. That's the best part. All you got to do is grab your course, follow the drills, get the skills, and watch your life change. You don't got to believe it. You just got to do it. If after 60 days, this particular program doesn't have you on the fast track to transforming your life, to getting more opportunities, money, abundance, social opportunities, if you're not on the fast track to finding the love you want, the way you want it, by your standards and your definitions, if you're not becoming more magnetic to success, finding yourself getting luckier and luckier, if you're not seeing tangible proof that you're on your way to manifesting the life of your dreams, feeling more confident and secure and powerful, then I'll refund every penny that you've invested in this program. Because if it's not working for you, I don't want your money. I don't want your investment, but this is not an investment in David. This is an investment in yourself. I guarantee you, if you actually do the work, if you actually follow the processes and the strategies and the techniques in this program, within 60 days or even sooner, you will have a changed life. You'll be on the fast track to making more, enjoying life more, having higher quality relationships, and manifesting more opportunities in your life than you ever thought possible. And if you have any sticking points, if you have any questions, all you got to do is pick up that phone and send us and give us a call at 858-282-4663, or just shoot us an email to Stephanie@nlppower.com, and we will walk you through the sticking points. We will hot seat you if we have to. And if after we hot seat you, you're still not getting the results that you want, if you're not past whatever's holding you back, we'll refund your money. All we ask is that you give it actually do the work. There's absolutely nothing to risk here. I want you to be successful. This program is only good for me if it's good for you. So go ahead and click that link right now. Go to www.davidsnydernlp.com/HLOA. Click the link in the chat, click the links in the offer. http://www.davidsnydernlp.com/HLOA. Go ahead and type that, or I just want to make sure that I have it so I can keep posting it. Get yours right now, www.davidsnydernlp.com/HLOA. So if this wasn't good enough already, if this wasn't enough motivation for you, if the fact that I'm giving you over $11,485 in free stuff, if the 60-day guarantee that if it doesn't work for you, you can get your money back isn't enough, or if you're one of those special people who knows that the successes they have in life is based on their ability and willingness to take action. You're going to love this. We're going to also include, the following fast action super bonuses. You're going to get a 3-month trial membership to the NLP Power Mastermind Mentoring Practice Group and Archive. So let me explain a little bit how this particular program actually works. You see, on the third set, in October of 2010, a bunch of my meetup students got together and said, hey, David, I want to learn more. I want to work with you personally, right? And I said, basically, well, you can't. And they said, well, how can we? And I said, well, I'll tell you what, I'll put together a practice group. And on the third Saturday of every month, you'll come in from 11 to 4. I'll go around the room. I'll find out where your sticking points are. What do you want to learn? I'll create a lesson plan right on the spot. And for the next 4 to 6 hours, we'll drill you on these specific skill sets until you can do them in your sleep. Okay. So literally every Saturday since 2010, I've logged into my Zoom. I've gone into an auditorium. I had a room full of people, both virtually and in person. And I say, Jeff, what do you want to learn? Leanne, what do you want to learn? Justin, what do you want to learn? Lawson, what do you want to learn? Sist, what do you want to learn? Seth, what do you want to learn? You know, Gary, what do you want to learn? And you tell me what you want to learn. And I write them down on the board, right? And then I step back and I look at everything you've told me you want to learn about. I find where they all connect and intersect. I create that lesson plan on the spot. And then for the next 3, 4, 5, 6 hours, I drill you on those specific skill sets until you can do them in your sleep. You will not get a certificate from the NLP Power Mastermind Mentoring Program. What you will get is access to the world's longest running NLP, hypnosis, energy, and mind control training practice group in history, right? We've been running it nonstop every month, month after month, since 2010. You get to work hands-on with people just like you from all over the world. If you're local here in San Diego or Southern California, you can actually come to the actual location and practice. You get a 3-month trial membership. What you also get is access to a very special archive, an archive that only a select few get access to. You see, since October of 2010, we have been running this mastermind. We've also been videotaping every single session of that mastermind, and we've archived those videos in the NLP Power website, or the David Snyder NLP website, on our private Facebook group, and on our YouTube channel. As a trial member to the NLP Power Mastermind Mentoring Group, you will also get unlimited access for that complete 90 days. If you want to stay after that, let's definitely know. We'll show you how to continue and extend your membership. If you don't, just let us know. We'll remove you from the group. You got 3 months of full unfettered access to 10 years, actually 11 years of video content nobody has ever seen. Everything from law of attraction, manifestation, traumatology, hypnotherapy, neurolinguistic programming, copywriting, persuasion, influence, past life regression, energy healing, remote influence. It's all there. If it was in my scope of practice or my bailiwick and my students wanted to know it and I had the capacity to teach it, I taught it, right? You'll get access to it. You can binge watch it to your heart's content, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, thousands of hours of video that nobody on YouTube has ever seen or has ever been put in a product. It's all yours. Total value for this is $1,597. We're going to give it to you absolutely free to make sure that not only do you have the information that you need, but that you actually have an opportunity to practice and train with people just like you in a community that only wants one thing: to help you get better. Okay, that's how it works. Total value for this is $13,082 if you were to get all that, if you were to try to get that on the website. But of course, we got more. I kind of get, oops, damn it, darn it, guys. Sorry about that. You're also, something's really lagging on my computer. I apologize. You're also going to get the Attraction Mastery, Dating, Mating, and Relating Skills for Men and Women Home Study course. Now, you can think of Soulmate Secrets and Attraction Mastery as the yin and yang of each other. So let me explain that. Soulmate Secrets is going to give you the ability to zero in on what you want, what fulfills you spiritually, mentally, physically. It's going to give you the skills and abilities to manage the relationship once you've got it, where to go to find the kind of people that you want to be in a relationship with. Attraction mastery is going to give you the physical skills and techniques that you need to go from inner game to outer game, to go from cold approach to what we call a complete close, and then into an LTR, into long-term relationships. It's about what to say, how to create powerful levels of physical, mental, and emotional connection, how to rapidly generate charisma on command, how to work within other people's energy fields to actually psycho-emotionally and energetically position yourself in their minds as the people that could give them the greatest degree of happiness in the shortest amount of time possible. It is one of the most powerful programs that we have. I don't teach this class very often anymore because I'm focusing on other things. But if you have the Soulmate Secrets Masterclass and you have this, you have everything you need to find, attract, date, mate, and relate in a long-term relationship the people and the mates of your dreams, the partners of your dreams. Okay, it's a powerful 1-2 combination. We don't offer it that often. I'm giving this to you free because, again, I want you to have everything. I want you to have the skills and abilities to have the life you want, the way you want it, with the people you want to have it with. Okay, it's a $2,497 value. We're going to give this to you free when you grab it and click that link right now in your chat and get your course right now. Okay, all you need to do, oh, I forgot, there's one more. This is probably the single most valuable course or most valuable bonus that we have. And what this is, if you were to ask me, what's a better deal, having this training done live or getting in video, I will answer without hesitation that getting this course in person is the fastest way to embody these skills. And once you have the live training, the videos take on an even more powerful place in your life and in your skill set. For the first 21 people, oh, actually that should be 17 people, but not 2,117. For the first 21 people to grab this course today, we're going to give you a free VIP super ticket to our next Identity by Design Hypnosis and Hypnotherapy Certification Live Certification Bootcamp, which is going to be here in San Diego, March 21st through the 25th. Some restrictions do apply. It's a $3,150 value. We're going to give this to you absolutely free. What you're going to get in this amazing program is the 7-stage Identity by Design silo that allows you to systematically target and rebuild a person's identity and personality from the ground up. How to find and remove negativity you didn't even know you had. How to remove safety lessons from your life that are keeping you from taking certain actions because your neurology thinks that if you take them, you'll be in danger. Okay, a lot of times these things manifest as an inability to launch, either to get into that relationship even though you know they're the right person, to start that business even though everything is in place and you just can't seem to get going. If you've ever found yourself in a situation where you knew everything you needed to do, you know when you needed to do it, you know who to do it with and how to do it, but you couldn't pull the trigger, chances are you got safety lessons blocking your progress. And this will give you the system to help yourself and your clients. This is, again, something for people who actually want to use this and become an Identity by Design coach and build this into your healing practice, your coaching practice, your consulting practice. You're going to systematically learn how to install those default driver states that we talked about, how to cleanse the negativity from a person's past so that when they look back, they only remember it in ways that make their lives better. You're going to learn the key language patterns to install things very, very quickly. You're going to learn the 30-minute, 99% close consultation process that we use for both screening our prospective clients and motivating them to want to become your clients within the space of 30 minutes. It's one of the most powerful things you can do for your business. Creates tremendous goodwill, tremendous compliance, and guarantees that you will have the easiest time possible working with each of those clients going forward. You'll also learn powerful regression techniques that are pleasure-based that'll give you the foundations for your next level of training, which is real world regression therapy. In the energetic systems, this might be called soul retrieval, depending on who you're talking to, which is, again, this is a prerequisite for that kind of stuff. You're also going to learn about how to do self-hypnosis. You're going to learn how to rapidly install the traits, qualities, and characteristics of people you truly admire into yourself, but also into your clients. Where Secrets of Personality Transformation is all about doing these things for yourself, this course is all about doing this thing for other people for a financial or a professional purpose. In other words, to add another income stream to help you help your clients better, right? And the side effect of this is that the byproduct of this, for lack of a better word, is you will be able to hypnotize people and transform their lives anytime, anywhere, under any circumstance, for any reason. Now, that's a big claim, but graduates from this class have been documented performing advanced hypnotic techniques in the lobby of a hotel, undergoing renovations, right next to an active jackhammer with 100% success. I've had people perform these techniques in the airport on people having ab reactions in minutes and just completely transforming it after this training. This is the training that will take your confidence, your competency, and all of your other skills to a much higher level. If you're working in a profession that if you have to, like, if, for example, if you, in energetic systems, if you break somebody open, they start having an emotional ab reaction, a lot of times you have to refer those people out to get that stuff cleaned up. With the Identity by Design techniques, you now have a very powerful toolkit for helping them resolve those things right then and there. You don't have to refer them out, right? Again, if you feel more comfortable referring them out, that's fine. But one of the things that this helps you do is you fix that shit on all different levels right then and there. It's one of the most powerful programs that we have, and it will completely change everything about your life and your practice. I can't say enough about this course, especially the live events. Don't take my word for it. Any of the graduates from Identity by Design, post in the chat exactly what this course has allowed you to do, so these people know what they're getting. Our VIP super tickets are very special. Why is that? It's because they don't expire. Let's say you grab your package right now, right? And for some reason, your work schedule won't free up, you have family obligations, whatever, you can't come to the training. That's fine. All you do is you pick up the phone, you let Stephanie know, we will move you to the next Identity by Design training. You don't lose this ticket until you actually use this ticket. Let's say the training sells out, and this one is going to sell out really, really quick because the venue we're at only has space for 25 people. So again, that's why you have the number 17 there instead of the 21, because we have a bunch of people already pre-registered for this. Anyway, be that as it may, let's say that the training is full, right? And your schedule frees up. Joseph Christensen just got it. Thank you, Joseph. Welcome aboard, my friend. Let's say that your schedule frees up at the last minute and you want to come to a training, but the deadlines have gone, or you missed the deadlines. All you do is pick up the phone, send an email, let Stephanie know, and we'll make a seat for you. We will actually make a space at a sold out training so that you can attend this live event. Let's say for some reason we raise the price again in a few months. You have a price guarantee. You will never pay more for this training as long as you have this VIP ticket. Even if we raise the price, which will raise the value of the ticket, but you got it here, you have a price guarantee. That price will never go up for you, okay? Let's say that you have somebody in your life that you think would be a good fit for this training. Maybe it's not for you, maybe it's for a loved one. You can gift the ticket to them and they can attend the training and get the certification. This ticket does not expire. If it takes you, if you get your course today, if you get this course and it takes you 10 years to get to a training, this ticket will still be valuable. It'll still be available for you. I've had people get these courses or get these VIP tickets in 2016. I don't hear from them until 2019, 2021. They ask, hey, I got this ticket at HypnoThoughts back in the day. Can I still use it? The answer is yes, right? You have this training available to you until you actually use the ticket. It never goes out of date. It's one of the fastest ways to really get into a room with me where I can put you through our unique training process that takes you from hypnotic zero to hypnotic hero in 5 days. You will literally be one of the most unstoppable hypnotists on the planet. And that's my guarantee, right? I know it's, and if you don't think that's true, test me. Grab your course, come to the training. And if you don't rapidly gain the ability to hypnotize almost anyone, anytime, anywhere, under any circumstances and get your outcome, I'll refund your money. It's really that simple. Okay. Anyway, total combined value is $18,729. All you got to do to get yours is click the link, go to www.davidsnydernlp.com/HLOA, right? So let's just review really, really quickly. The Hidden Laws of Attraction. Hold on again. Okay. Hidden Laws of Attraction, Ultimate Manifestation Mastery Home Study Course includes the Hidden Laws of Attraction Home Study Course itself, valued at $1,997. You're also going to get absolutely free the Vibrational Influence UK 5-day training with 2 full days of bonus content on the Kuji-In and Mudra work for manifesting various things. It's a $2,497 value. We're going to give it to you absolutely free. You're going to get a bonus vibrational healing home study course, absolutely freaking amazing. $2,497 value. We're going to give that to you free. You're going to get the Secrets of Personality Transformation home study course. It's a $2,497 value. We're going to give that to you absolutely free. It includes the Hidden Laws of Attraction Soulmate Secrets Masterclass, $1,997 value, and the yin to the yang, or the yang to the yin of that course is our Attraction Mastery 4-day intensive. It's a $2,497 value. We're going to give that to you absolutely free. We're going to give you a 3-month trial membership to the NLP Power Mastermind Mentoring Program and the 11-year video archive. It's a $1,597 value. We're going to give that to you free. And then finally, we're going to give you a free VIP super ticket to our next Identity by Design Hypnosis and Hypnotherapy Certification Bootcamp, $3,150 value. We're going to give it to you absolutely free. Total value is $18,729. You can get it all for one low installment of just $14.97. And if you need a little extra help, just let Stephanie know. We can break that up into 4 easy installments for you of just $397. All you need to do to go right now to get yours is go to www.davidsnydernlp.com/HLOA. That's www.davidsnydernlp.com/HLOA. One more time, click that link right now, www.davidsnydernlp.com/HLOA. With that, we conclude phase 2 of our webinar. You've got your path to ascension. Go ahead and click those links right now. Get one of those few remaining VIP tickets. And so you can come to the Identity by Design live training here in March in Solana Beach and meet some of the most powerful hypnotists of all time and become one of them yourself. What we're going to do right now, it is 5:59 by my clock. We are going to take a 7-minute intermission. During that 7 intermission, you can go ahead and click that link right there and post any questions that you may have about the program. When we come back from our break, we're going to go ahead and pick up phase 3, circle back and start building on the foundations we laid in the beginning of part 1 and show you how to customize this webinar to your specific law of attraction and manifestation applications. Okay, that's what we got. And I will see you in 7 minutes. All right. All right, let me go check our chats here. You guys have any questions I can answer while we have 2 minutes left on our break? Let's see here. Craig said he signed up. Awesome. Welcome aboard, Craig. I love it when people jump on here and take the plunge. You're going to be so empowered to blow your mind. All right. Let's see who else. Craig signed up. Okay. For those of you who want to swap tickets, reach out to Stephanie and she'll give you the procedure for doing that if that's something you might want to do. Some of these classes, some restrictions do apply on those VIP tickets, but we try to be flexible when possible. Let's see here. Let's see any other questions that people have. Gary says, this may not be a perfect kind of, but the feeling packets stored in the body, can those be thought forms? They are thought forms, Gary. In fact, if you've ever seen the diagram I use for a holographic memory unit, a holographic memory container, that is my two-dimensional representation of an actual thought form. Okay. We don't tell people that they're breaking up or changing thought forms in the identity by design level, but as you get deeper and deeper into the vibrational influence levels, you start to learn deeper understandings and applications of what you're doing. It's not necessary at the identity by design level because most people, they just want to change shit. And all they need to know, and so the way that what we do is, see, there's two ways. Let me jump on and talk about this really quick because I think it's really important that people understand. Make sure you go ahead and click that link, www.davidschneider.nlp.com/HLOA. Let me go ahead and click back to this really quickly. One of the things that people have had trouble with in the past, as well as going forward, is there's two ways to keep people stuck. And that's either don't give them enough information or way too much. And so one of the things that we do is we've layered all of our trainings in a progression. So there are certain key entry-level programs that we have that lay the foundations. You're actually, when you come into a class like Identity by Design, most people are coming in under the context of learning NLP hypnotic hybrid training. They're here for the hypnotic applications of it. But what they don't realize is that it's also a hermetic training silo. In other words, all the things you're doing in Identity by Design are actually giving you the opportunity to practice, develop, and hone certain attributes of the mind, body, and spirit that are used in vibrational applications. Most people coming in are neutral at best towards the wonderful world of woo. So we don't talk about that. We give them a set of mechanics that allow you to create very powerful, very rapid change. We give you enough information that you can do this stuff anytime, anywhere, under any circumstance, for any reason. And the more you do it, the more your skills at these other things in these more advanced classes become, right? So we solve one set of problems at a time. And if people want to go faster or deeper into our systems, there's a path. But even if they come in, they just want to add some hardcore nuclear powered techniques to their current healing practices or therapy practices or whatever, they get what they came for, right? So again, we try not to overwhelm you or inundate you with all the stuff that really you don't need to know to be successful. Now, when you want to take your understanding to a deeper level, things change a little bit. We'll show you the same techniques from a completely different perspective or a slightly higher perspective. And you'll be like, oh my God. And what literally happens after about a year or two, going through the system, you literally have this epiphany where you wake up and go, oh my God, it's all the same, right? It's really cool, but that's what it's about, okay? So that being said, let me go to the chat. Let me see what we got here. So Lori's saying, if hypnosis is a kinesthetic hallucination, how can it be anything other than a manipulation of the chemical release? Well, first of all, hypnosis isn't a kinesthetic hallucination. It's a kinesthetic phenomena, but I wouldn't call it a hallucination. In fact, if we were to hook you up to an MRI or an EEG, you would see dramatic changes in the functioning of the brain as a byproduct of going through a hypnotic process. So to call it a hallucination, or to call hypnosis a hallucination, is not really accurate. Kinesthetic hallucination as a byproduct of a hypnotic interaction or intervention, that would be a more accurate way of saying it. Again, hypnosis is any process or phenomena that takes you from the state you're in and intentionally moves you to another state. That's really all a hypnosis really is. And then depending on how you define hypnosis, the dynamics of that particular definition can change as well. We'll give you all the functional things you need to know in the Identity by Design super training. Okay. All right. So that being said, this is where we get to play a little bit. Here's what I want to know. What do you want to learn about today? Now that we're in part 3 of the webinar, we've laid some of the foundations, and we'll probably give you some more. Let me just get my chair so I can stand for the next hour. What is it you guys want to learn about in terms of law of attraction and manifestation? What can I help you with today? Type in the chat what you most want to learn about. Top 3 choices. Go ahead and do that. Oh, people were asking about virtual classes. We are working on having a regular virtual option for some of these trainings, but it will still cost you a VIP ticket. Alvy's saying, can you teach us how to cultivate and develop a dominant and intimidating personality? I can, but I need to know how you define that, but that's not really the purview of this particular webinar. So Leanne says, I used to be able to manifest. I need to do it again. Okay, what else you guys got? Talk to me. What do you guys want to know about? It's your webinar. Really, guys? Come on. Oh, then I'll just pick something. Removing limiting behaviors, ADD is issues. Okay. Tithing principles, manifest clients, open awareness to areas of the law of attraction we no longer want. Wait, Mark, what do you mean when you say open awareness to areas of law of attraction we no longer want? I'm not sure what that means. But okay. All right. So let's play a little bit, shall we? How do I get rid of old shit to allow new in? Perfect. Let's talk about that. Let me go share my screen. And we will look at some ways to do this. Okay. Here we go. All right. So what we're going to talk about now is one of the most important aspects of law of attraction. This goes to a concept that we're going to teach you more about in Identity by Design called the proprioceptive grid. The energy field around your nervous system or processed by your nervous system, let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger, has an organization to it. If you were to pick if you would go to an anatomy book, or a book on the energy fields of the human body, this is what you might see. In other words, there's a toroid-shaped energy field around us. Now, if you actually were to look at this, there would actually be 3 interpenetrating toroid fields, one for the heart, one for the upper dantian, and one for the lower dantian. And then if you start parsing the different chakra systems, you're going to see different intersecting toroidal fields for each of the chakras. That's all really pretty on Kirlian photography or any kind of imaging, but it doesn't really help us. It doesn't really give us a way to work with this energy and strategically and specifically change, remove, or add things to it. But what I've discovered through NLP and observation and things like that is that there is an inherent organization to this field. This is true, but it's not useful. If you impose a grid on the human nervous system, much like this, what you get is an understanding of the holographic information processing network that runs all human beings. So here's some very simple things that we can play with. And you already did play with this, so I'll just point it out. Anything, if you imagine a dividing line bisecting the top of the head, the bihuay, through the perineum, through the soles of the feet, this is a dividing line between the forward hemisphere of your body and the posterior hemisphere of your body, if you think about that toroidal field. But what I want you to do is I want you, instead of thinking about it like a, instead of thinking about it like a torus or a donut, rather, I want you to think about it like a cube, right? And you're in the center of this cube. You have a forward quadrant, you have a rear quadrant, things of that nature. Now, why is this important? Because anything that you find in your forward quadrant, your neurology codifies automatically as a program that's overactive, or it's open, active, and pending. In other words, it's not resolved. It's not in the past. You're not over with it. Okay, we'll talk about that in just a minute. Anything that travels from the forward hemisphere to the rear hemisphere, your neurology tends to classify as closed, over, or complete. Now, you all had an experience of this at the beginning of our webinar. How many of you guys remember when I had you take the picture of something that you wanted, lift it up over your head, pull it down around you, lift it back up, throw it behind you until it disappeared? You guys remember when we did that? Yes or no? Okay. What you did there was played with your own proprioceptive grid. How many of you noticed when you moved the picture behind you, it significantly diminished, or in some cases went away completely? True, not true? Okay. So what we've done now NLP, according to classical NLP, that shouldn't work for everybody. But one of the distinctions that we've made in our systems is that human beings have two sets of coding. You have an off-the-shelf genetic coding system, which is what we're tapping into, and then you have your own personal coding system. For example, if I were to ask you to imagine something in your life that was true once, but is no longer true. Can you do that? Can you imagine, or can you remember something in your life that was true once, but is no longer true? Like, I was in 3rd grade once, but I'm not anymore. Cool. All right, so do this now. When you think about that time that was true once, but is no longer true, notice that there's a place in your body where the feeling connected to that memory is stored. Take a moment, point to where you feel it. Right? Now take your other hand, and if there were a picture floating in the space around you that represented that experience, a picture that you could reach out and touch, where would you reach out to touch it? First impression. Okay. Once you've got that, just for fun, trace the outline of it with both of your hands so you know how big it is. Okay. Now make it bigger and notice what happens to the feeling. Then make it smaller. Notice what happens to the feeling. Type it in the chat. What happens? You guys with me? This is the audience participation part of the webinar, folks. Diminishes when larger, more intense when small. Okay, you're what we call a concentrator, Mary. That means when you make your pictures bigger, it diffuses the energy. When you make the pictures smaller, it means that the energy gets more concentrated, more focused. There's several different categories. You have concentrators and expanders, and then you have distancers. Doesn't matter which one you are, you just need to know which one you are. So Morgan says the feeling gets stronger when larger. He's an expander. Again, there's nothing right or wrong about either one. It's just knowing which one you are. Now you've calibrated. Now you know when you make something bigger, what's going to happen. When you make something smaller, what's going to happen. You've literally found the volume control knob to the intensity level of your neurology. This is really powerful. This is important. Okay, so that being said, remember that spot where you hold things that were true once but no longer true. Now, I want you to think of something that has a shit level of 1, 2, or 3, preferably a 1. Something that you'd like to not feel so bad about, or what have you. When you have it, I just want you to notice where in your body that feeling is stored and point to it. Okay? And now what I want you to do, once again, if you could imagine a picture floating in the space around you that represents that level 1 thing that you want to change, a picture that you could reach out and touch, where would you reach out to touch it? Go ahead and take it. Go ahead and reach out and touch it. Now, the first thing I want you to do, trace the outline of it with both of your hands so you know how big it is. Now, if you're an expander, I want you to make the picture bigger and notice what happens to the feeling in your body. If you're a concentrator, shrink it down and notice what happens to the feelings in your body. And then put it back to its original size and tell me what you discover. Just type in the chat what you discover. It burns, okay. Concentrator, okay, Christopher, go ahead and do what you got to do to make it more intense. And then put it back to its original intensity. Okay, so you trace the outline of it, made it bigger, made it smaller, right? Now, I want you to do the exact, I want you to make it, I want you to, if you're an expander now, shrink it down to the size of a postage stamp or even smaller. If you're a concentrator, make it bigger so it completely diffuses. And then all I want you to do is physically grab it. And if I'm an expander, so I'm going to shrink mine down to the size of a postage stamp. All I'm going to do now is move it into that spot where things were true once but are no longer true and make it bigger. Go ahead and do that. Do it a few times till it locks into place. And then type what you experienced when you made it bigger in that space. Joseph says when it's larger, the muscles vibrate. Okay, cool. Tammy says when it's big, you feel sick. Okay, good, good. Goes away when expanded. Huh, wait a minute. How does that work? It works. Doesn't feel like an issue anymore, Christopher says. Bingo. What you've literally done through the combination of imagination, intention, and body is create. Hurt is still there. Okay. Space opened in my field of perception. Less intense. Very good. Okay. I just wanted to give you a quick experience. We're going to show you how to actually nuke this shit big time. Okay. So what the whole point of this, by the way, was to teach you something, that you have a hardwired set of filing relationships, and then you have one that's personal. Now, what I can't show you on this particular format is that if I had you all in the same room and when you come to Identity by Design, you'll see this. If I had each of you reach out and touch the space where you kept things that were true once but no longer true, you'd all be pointing in a different spot, right? That's your personalized coding system, right? We don't need to worry about that for what we're about to do next. Now, the next thing I want you to teach you is I want to teach you how to remove the safety lessons that are holding you back. Would it be okay to remove the blocks to some of the blocks to your success? Would that be okay? Type in the chat if that's okay. This is the audience participation form. Okay. So I'm going to give you two things that you need to understand if you're going to work on your own stuff. Okay. One of the problems, you remember at the beginning of the webinar when I said that the human nervous system has a negativity bias? You guys remember when I said that? Yes or yes? Okay. This is where that becomes important. When one of the things that happened, I kind of lost my train of thought there because I was flipping around Windows. One of the things that happens is if you experience one negative thing, the autonomic nervous system automatically gives it a charge of 4. Okay, so one event, gravity of 4. Positive event, one positive event, gravity of 1. This is the negativity bias that we all have. The picture moving that you've just done is a way to integrate your physical body, your imagination, and your intention with the proprioceptive neurology, the cardiac neurology, and the mirror neurons of your system to create holistic change. When I make the picture smaller for most people, it's going to get, again, if you're an expander, it's going to get less intense. If you're a concentrator, you need to make it bigger. You just need to know that part. Okay. So when we start to work on ourselves, because of this negativity bias, let me go back to here. Because of this negativity bias, the first thing your neurology wants to do is pick the most egregious, painful, heinous, traumatic elements of your life, the Godzilla-sized shit that you've dealt with, and that's what it wants to deal with first. It does that because as far as your neurology is concerned, that is in fact the biggest problem that you're facing right now. And when you're working with other people guiding you through processes, you can do that. Like if you're working one-on-one with me, bring out Godzilla, bring out Satan, Lucifer, Loki, whatever behemoth is lurking beneath the surface, right? And we'll go do battle with it. All right, we'll show you how to transform those things. But when you're working on yourself, that inherent negativity bias actually prevents you from being successful. And here's why. How many of you, by a show of hands, or that's me in the chat, have ever heard of this thing called a video game? Anybody? Bueller? Okay. So you guys know that in video games, like World of Warcraft or EverQuest or those kind of things, that you have levels to characters, right? True, not true? Okay, played both. Very good. I'm an Evercrack junkie, right? You ever see what happens, StarCraft? You ever see what happens when a level 1, anybody ever play the Dungeons and Dragons, the role-playing game, like the table game? Same idea. Do you ever see what happens when a level 1 character runs into a level 20 zone? What happens? No idea. Road omelet, right? Immediate death. Why? Because the character's skill level isn't a match for the problem's skill level, right? So when you start working on yourself, you got to flip the script. You've got to actually you have a level 1 character, you need to fight level 1 problems. Why? Because every time you kill a level 1 character, kills a level 1 monster, you get what? You get experience points. When you get enough experience points, what happens? You level up, right? This is how you have to retrain your nervous system to deal with your shit. By definition, the reason your shit is still your shit is because up until this moment, you haven't found a technique strong enough to resolve it, right? Because of the negativity bias of your nervous system, you're immediately going to take any technique that you find and throw it against this level 1 technique and throw it against a level 20 monster and wonder why it doesn't work. Okay? So I'm going to teach you 2 techniques. The first technique is called bucket listing. It's a way to reorganize your shit being a technical terms, strategic hypnotic influence triggers, right? It's going to be a way to reorganize your shit so that you have level 1 problems, level 2 problems, level 3, all the way up to level 10 or 20 problems, and you know exactly what to practice on first. You get enough of those level 1 problems, you're going to get experience points, you're going to go to a level 2 technique. You do enough level 2 techniques, you're going to go to a level 3 technique, and you'll be able to deal with level 1, 3 problems, so forth and so on. This one little piece will allow you to actually train your mind and body to deal with your shit using whatever techniques you know, but you have to be willing to do it. Does that make sense? Yes or no? Okay, so let's talk about how to do bucket listing. Then we're going to start clearing shit. Is that okay? Okay. So before we start clearing shit, I just want to remind everybody once again that, hold on a second. I got to clear this up. To click that link for your for the offer today, right? It's the Hidden Laws of Attraction super bonus, vibrational influence, $2,497 value. The Hidden Laws of Attraction home study course, $1,997 value. The vibrational healing home study course, $2,497 value. Secrets of Personality Transformation. The technique we're about to teach you is actually in Secrets of Personality Transformation and Identity by Design, so you get it in both courses. It's a $2,497 value. We're going to give it to you free. The Hidden Laws of Attraction Soulmate Secrets Masterclass, $1,997 value. We're going to give that to you free. The Attraction Mastery 4-Day Intensive, $2,497 value. We're going to give that to you free. The NLP Mastermind Mentoring Program and Video Archive, it's $1,597 value. We're going to give that to you free. And finally, the free VIP Super Ticket for Identity by Design Live. It's a $3,150 value. We're going to give that to you free. It's a total of $18,729 in course materials and bonuses. You can get it all for $1,497 or 4 easy installments of $397 each. Just go to www.davidsnydernlp.com/HLOA. If you have questions, call Stephanie at 858-282-4663. She can answer any questions that you have. www.davidsnydernlp.com/HLOA. Let's go ahead and get back to bucket listing. And here we go. I think this is it. Okay, so there's 2 ways for you to organize your stuff. One is called the thematic process, the thematic approach. And the way this works is all you're going to do is do a brain dump of everything that you might be afraid of, that holds you back, what have you. So get out a piece of paper, and I want you to just list everything that makes you feel afraid. Just brain dump it out on a piece of paper. Now, when we're using the thematic approach, it could be anything you're afraid of, right? If my theme is sadness or grief or anxiety or sadness, grief, or sorrow, I'm going to list all the things that make me feel sad, right? If my big Godzilla-sized stuff or my theme is worry, I'm going to list all the things that make me worry. Then I'm going to organize those. I'm going to give you each one a number value from 1 to 10. Because if it had a 0, it wouldn't be on your list. So 1 to 10. Then I'm going to organize those from highest to lowest. In other words, I'm going to list all my level ones. Let me show you really quick. Right? You write down all your level ones, all your level twos, all your level threes, levels 4, 5, etc. Right? And what's going to happen is when we start going through the technique, the transformation techniques, I want you to take the technique that we're playing with and I want you to apply it to all of your level 1 problems. When you've exhausted all of your level 1 problems, I want you to go on to your level 2 problems. When you've exhausted all of your level 2 problems, work on your level 3 problems, and then your level 4s and your level 5s. So the first thing you do is you just do a brain dump of all the things that, and again, if we're talking about fear, that make you afraid. Whatever, okay? Then I want you to sort through your history and find other examples of things you want to clear that have the same intensity level. So you might have like, you know, 3 different things that you have, 3 examples at a level 1. Oops, that didn't work. Oh, that's why. Okay. Pardon me, because my computer's getting a little glitchy because I'm running too many apps right now. All right, so maybe you have 3 to 5 things at level 1. Maybe you have 3 to 5 things at level 2, right? The idea is you clear one level first, then you move on to the next level. All right. So let me see if you have any questions about this. No. Yeah, but what you're actually doing, Christopher, is you're organizing your shit. You see, most of us, when we think about things we want to clear, we think about the biggest, most traumatic things in our life, and we want to clear those first. And that's fine if somebody's guiding you through a process. But if you're trying to do this on your own, you're setting yourself up for failure because by definition, the things that you're trying to fight have the greatest degree of history, practice, and magnitude in your neurology. And the human nervous system, by definition, sorts for what's familiar. So if you want to be able to develop a technique that's strong enough to deal with the level 20s, you've got to build it up. It's kind of like building up a muscle. Okay. So does that make sense, Christopher? Alvy's asking how many levels? Well, I use a 1 through 10 scale, right? But you can number that at whatever. If you want a 1 through 20, you can do a 1 through 20, right? Now, just the act, here's one of the best parts about this process. Just the act of creating the list causes you to start processing out your shit. All right. Okay. Seth, I can't deal with that right now. Okay. If you guys want to do any kind of work, have Stephanie handle. All right. So can Christopher saying, can I use something other than fear / yes, you can. You can use any negative emotion that you worry about. But what we're doing is we're taking a thematic approach, right? We have another approach where you just brain dump and emotionally vomit anything that bothers you and put it on the page. I like to keep things a little bit more organized. So we start by clearing all of our fears, then all of our sadnesses, and all of our worries, and all of our guilts, and all of our shames. But again, do you have to start with fear? Absolutely not. What matters is that you keep to one theme and you just organize those things. Okay. Megan, if you want interest, reach out to, I just told Seth that face reading in Dallas is something that is it's a viable possibility. You have to reach out to Stephanie at 858-282-4663 directly, and she'll help you with that as far as what to do. Okay, so the secret is brain dump or emotionally vomit everything that you want to fix right onto a page that have to do with one particular emotion or set of emotions. Then organize it Give each one an intensity value of 1 to 10, then organize it, reorganize your list, ones, twos, threes, fours, fives, all the way down to the tens, right? And then find other examples of a level 1 problem, other examples of a level 2 problem, and fill in those spaces. Other examples of a level 3 problem, fill those in. Why? Because the more level 1s you clear, the faster you're going to gain skills and experience points to deal with the level 2s. The more repetition you get at level 1s, the faster your neurology is willing to take on the level 2s. Just the act of doing this causes a perceptual shift in your neurology that causes you to go what we call going meta to the problem. One of the reasons that we have trouble clearing stuff from our life is because we're too associated into it. You guys remember when I had you take your picture and wrap it around you? You guys remember that? What happened to your perspective when you wrapped the picture around you and you were actually inside of it? What happened to how you felt about the problem? Right? Did most of you feel like you were actually in it now? True, not true? Focus, felt immersed in it? Okay. Okay, so what happens is when our traumas start to overwhelm us, if all you did was point to where you felt it, found the picture, traced the outline of it, and pushed it away, it wouldn't bother you nearly as much. If all you did, if you're a concentrator, was make it bigger, it would diminish. If you're an expander and all you did was make it smaller, the intensity level would diminish and you would be able to deal with it much more readily. That's all you would have to do to make it manageable, but you still have to manage it. So how do we manage it? Well, one of the ways that we do that is by dissociating or going meta to the problem. We have to rise above that in our perspective so that we have control over it. One of the natural processes that happens when you start to vomit out your material and reorganize it is you automatically start going meta to it, which automatically triggers a resolution process in you. How many of you noticed, if you're doing this, that as you think about the things on the list, they're not quite as intense as they were before you wrote it down? Anybody notice that? And it's okay if you didn't, but how many of you noticed that? Okay, I'm gonna try and keep to a time limit. So how many of you are actually actively, type in the chat right now, how many of you are actively working on your bucket lists right now? Okay, good. So here's the deal. Leon says, yes, not sure why though. It's because the act of writing it causes you to start to vent and process it. Mary says, I'm dealing with the death of my husband. I'm very sorry to hear that, Mary. This will help. The more you write, the more intense the feelings. Good. That means you're processing. Got a lot to unpack. Perfect. Perfect. All right. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to start. I shudder every time I get to this part of the webinar. And the reason I say that is because I've given you explicit instructions on what category of problem to work on. But you're going to pick Godzilla anyway, because that's what your nervous system wants you to do. Right now, your neurology is pumping you. David's going to lead us through an exercise. Let's pick up the biggest, nastiest thing and let's just clear it. I understand. Adrian says, no, I'm trying not to. I understand. This is not my first rodeo, guys. Okay. Here's what let's play a little bit. Let's do what I promise you we'll do is we'll do this process 2 or 3 times. As you go through the exercise and you become more confident in it, if you want to, you can just take it up one level with each pass, right? But for training purposes, what you need to do is you need to flesh out those lists and work on all the level 1s first using this technique, then go to your level 2s using this technique, then your level 3s using this technique. And what you'll discover is that by the time you hit level 4, 5, 6, Your neurology will be so good at this and have such a history of success with it, it'll just start to do it automatically. Okay. And even if it doesn't do it automatically, you'll know exactly how to deal with this. And the more playful and explorational you become with it, the more powerfully and rapidly it will work. You don't need to believe in anything we're doing right now. All you got to do is have a fun, playful, explorational attitude, be absorbed and focused in the process, and you'll be amazed at how rapidly these things start to change for you. Okay. So Leanne says, I have a black screen and I only see part of your head. I don't know what happened. I don't know either, because from what I can see, oh, wait a minute. What's going on here? Is that better? I'm not sure what happened there. Okay. Thank you, Leanne, for letting me know. I'm not sure how that happened or why, but it's fixed now. All right. So I want you to look at your list. I'm gonna suit up for this. We're gonna go to battle. You guys ready to play? All right. We're gonna do this. I want you to look at the number one entry on your list. I want you to close your eyes. Remember that thing you want to change. It's a level 1. Point to where you feel it in your body. Now, if there were a picture floating in the space around you that represents that feeling, that experience, and you could reach out and touch it, where would you reach out to touch it? First impression, take your other hand, reach out and touch it. Now, from here, trace the outline of it with both of your hands so you know how big it is. Make sure you got the right one. Make it bigger or smaller. Move it closer, move it away. Notice how the intensity changes. If it changes, you got the right one. Now what I want you to do is imagine you could take a big, thick, black frame. The bigger, thicker, and blacker, the better. Imagine it all the way around that image. Now I want you to feel along the base of that frame, and you're going to notice some knobs and switches like on an old style television or radio. A lot of you guys are probably too young to remember when televisions had real dials and knobs and switches instead of touch screens and remote controls. But if you're an old motherfucker like me, you remember that. I want you to find the knob that controls the brightness or the contrast. I want you to turn that knob all the way to the right until the image whites out completely, and notice how that makes you feel. And I want you to turn the knob all the way to the left until the image blacks out completely. Notice how that makes you feel. And then make a judgment. Decide which one you like better. Right? Whichever color, if you like it whited out, turn it all the way to the right. If you like it blacked out, turn it all the way to the left. If your knob is the other way, where black is to the left and white is to the right, that's fine too. All right. But now I want you to take the index finger of your dominant hand and understand something, that there were some lessons that this experience had to teach you, positive or negative. I want you to take the index finger of your dominant hand, and in glowing golden letters across that whited out or blacked out screen, I want you to write the lessons this experience had to teach you, positive or negative, so you can keep all the lessons and let everything else go. Now, some people know exactly what those lessons are, and blam, they just vomit that shit onto that screen. The screen will scroll like a tablet, so you have an infinite, unlimited writing space. Some people have no conscious idea what that lesson was, but the unconscious part of you, the part of you that created this in the first place, knows exactly what those lessons are and what they need. So just like automatic writing, put your magic finger on that screen and let the unconscious mind just write, like automatic writing. Now, some people draw squiggles. Some people draw pictures. Some people get really pissed off and write fuck you, fuck you, fuck you across the screen. Some people write with both hands simultaneously, like they're writing Chinese or Hebrew at the same time. However your body does it, just keep writing. So you can keep all the lessons and let everything else go. You may feel emotions welling up as you're writing this stuff on the screen. Put them on the screen too, and just keep writing. As the feelings come up, they come out. As you feel them, you reveal them. As you reveal them, you heal them. Solve, dissolved, and resolved from the body. Solve, dissolved, and resolved from the mind for all the right reasons. When you know it's done, reach up. And if you're an expander, shrink that picture down to the size of a postage stamp. If you're an expander, or if you're a concentrator, make it so big it takes up the entire sky. Notice how the feelings in your body shift and change as your other than conscious mind begins the process of slowly migrating that shrunken down or expanded picture over the top of your head and back beyond the horizon like you did before. Notice how the feelings change in your body as your unconscious mind just automatically does that until it disappears behind the horizon completely. Now, you know the sound a hammer makes when you're banging on a nail? Feel it nailed back there for all eternity, impossible to come back. When you know it's nailed back there for all eternity, impossible to come back, test it. Try to bring it back and notice what happens instead. Take all the time you need to let the processing take place. You may feel a little warm as your body goes through some transformation. Some people break out in a sweat, some people laugh, some people yawn, some people cry, some people twitch, some people choke, some people just feel waves of emotion coming up. Whatever you're experiencing, it's just your neurology resetting itself. It's just an emotional detox. There's no need to measure it, manage it, or make it happen faster. Just notice that process taking place, allow it to install itself completely. And when you're satisfied, type done in the chat. That's just your body reprocessing the experience, Stacy. Len says done. Scale of George says done. Scale of 0 to 10, rate the remaining feelings. Christopher says done. Scan your body, notice how different you feel. Len says the weight lifted off me. Bingo, right? Christopher says lighter. This is actually one of the most common manifestations. What literally happens is you've done the equivalent of an energetic emotional body weight loss program. Okay. Alvi says, I just got rid of laziness. Very good, Alvi. Excellent. All right. Len says, LOL. Very good. You guys ready for another one? Mark says done. Gary says yes. Matthew Boyd says done. Len says done. Yes. Okay. So look at the next thing on your level 1 list. Now, if you're feeling adventurous, you're feeling ambitious, you can pick the first one on your level 2 list, right? Point to where you feel it. Reach out and touch it. Trace the outline of it with both of your hands so you know how big it is. Expand it, contract it, bring it closer, put it back to where it was. Notice how the feelings in your body shift and change as you manipulate that. Once you're sure you've got the right one, put a big, thick black frame around it. Feel along the base of that frame. Find the dials and knobs and switches that control the brightness or the contrast. Turn that knob all the way to the right until the image whites out completely. Notice how that makes you feel. Turn the knob all the way to the left until the image blacks out completely. Notice how that makes you feel. Decide for yourself which one you like better. Take the index finger of your dominant hand. On that whited out or blacked out screen, write the lessons connected to this experience so you can keep all the lessons and let everything else go. You may notice feelings and emotions come up. Put them on the screen. Just keep writing. That screen will scroll like an unlimited writing. When my wife does this, she writes for 40 minutes at a time. I feel like she's writing War and Peace, but when she's done, it's clear. So however long it takes, even if I'm moving on to the next phase of the process and you're still writing, just keep going. You own this. You got this. As the feelings come up, they come out. As you feel them, you reveal them. As you reveal them, you heal them. Solved, dissolved, and resolved from the body. Solved, dissolved, and resolved from the mind for all the right reasons. Once you've got that, notice how the feelings in your body shift and change as your unconscious mind and your hands begin to physically manipulate that square until it's completely the size of a postage stamp, or it's the size of the horizon. Notice how the feelings in your body shift and change as the unconscious mind begins the process of moving and migrating that picture up over the top of your head, back beyond the horizon, just like I'm doing. You know the sound a hammer makes when you're banging on a nail? Feel it nailed back there for all eternity, impossible to come back. When you know it's nailed back there for all eternity, impossible to come back, test it. Try to bring it back and notice what happens instead. Scan your body, notice how different you feel. Let the process and the changes lock in. For Alvi, what do I mean by lessons? Every experience that we encounter has things it has to teach us, positive or negative. Okay? Write those lessons on the screen so your neurology knows you're preserving it and it's willing to let everything else go. It can even be things you're never going to do again. D. McSee says, number 1 NLP, heart. Very cool, right? This is called the magic frame. It is one of the single most powerful and most important rapid change techniques that you can learn. We're going to do this one more time. For those of you, but before we do, I just want to remind everybody once again that the timer is running on today's offer for the Identity by Design home study course. Hold on a second. So I want to make sure everybody has a chance to go ahead and click that link. Once again, someday we'll get all of our different platforms synchronized, so I only have one dashboard to play with. So once again, our whole package today is worth $18,729. You can get it all for the low investment of $14.97 or 4 easy payments of just $397 each. It includes the Hidden Laws of Attraction home study course, valued at $1,997. The Vibrational Influence UK Special Edition, valued at $2,497. The Vibrational Healing Home Study Course, $2,497 value. We're going to give you those two for free. The Secrets of Personality Transformation Home Study Course, $2,497 value. We're going to give that to you free. Hidden Laws of the Soulmate Secrets Masterclass, $1,997 value. We're going to give that to you free. The NLP Mastermind Practice Group, $1,597 value. We're going to give that to you free. The Attraction Mastery 4-Day Intensive, $2,497 value. We're going to give that to you for free. And of course, you get that free VIP ticket to the Identity by Design live 5-day hypnosis certification bootcamp here in San Diego, California, March 23rd through the 28th, I believe. It's a $3,150 value. It does not expire. You can use it for any Identity by Design training if you can't make this one. All you got to do to get yours is go to www.davidsnydernlp.com/HLOA. That's www.davidsnydernlp.com/HLOA. And for some reason, my link is not showing up. Okay, not sure why that didn't go through when I pasted it, but that's all right. All right, let's get back to our training. And I will stop that. Okay, so now you have a choice. Ali V says, can my lesson be something to the effect of overcoming the problem for yes, whatever. Here's the secret. Here's a secret to this. And Ali raises a good point. What do I write on the screen? Whatever comes up. The important thing to remember about and this is again, one of the problems that psychology has kind of left us with. Psychology has led us to believe that in order to clear something, we have to consciously know what it is and understand it. That actually is not the case in many situations. In fact, sometimes you actually get deeper change faster when you don't consciously know what the problem is. Okay. What really is important is that you can isolate the feeling in your body and use what we call cortical activation to light up your entire neurology with information related to that. For those of you who do any kind of trauma work, in the trauma world, there is a phenomena known that happens when a person has a trauma, but they can't put a name to it, or they can't put a name to the feeling. And in the work, The Body Keeps the Score by Basil van der Kolk, he talks about a phenomenon known as alexithymia, right? And the theory behind that is that if you can't put a name to something, you can't process it. Well, the way around that is if you can isolate the body feeling, what's happened is you've actually found the holographic node where all the different aspects of that that trauma are reconstituted and expressed. If I isolate that feeling and then turn it into a color, whether I can name it or not, my neurology can now process it. If I turn it into a smell, a sound, a taste, or a feel, my body can now process it. If I do all of them, I get a synergistic effect where the whole is greater than the sum of the parts. I could talk about why this shit works or how it circumvents classical approaches till we're blue in the face. But at the end of the day, you're here to change shit and learn how to change shit. You don't need to know why if it doesn't work, right? But if it does work, that's really all that people care about, okay? So Alvi says, when I imagine the problems, I always get scared and shrink away quick to run away from it. So Alvi, if you've got some, and again, if that's what's happening, you're probably not working on a level 1 or 2, like I told you to do. So what you need to do, and this is for anybody else who's taking on Godzilla right now, when I told you to be working on Bambi, point to where you feel it, trace the outline of the picture with both of your hands, and now physically push it away from you, and then shrink it down. And what you'll notice is that the intensity of the problem starts to diminish. It's literally like taking the volume knob and turning it down. Okay. Once it reaches an intensity level that you can deal with, now we do the next pieces. All right. It's actually, you know, I saw this all the time when I was dealing with people who were like on the Asperger's spectrum or slightly on the autistic spectrum. When you ask them to point to where they felt it and trace the outline of it, the pictures they made were always this right here, and they were this big. That is the neuroenergetics of overwhelm. So if we actually elicit that data and move it away from us, the intensity starts to go down. The only thing that happens that you need to focus on there is how many times you have to push it away before it locks into the new change. But anything that you can point to, you can change. Okay, so if you're dealing with Godzilla, shrink that shit down and move it away from you before you start doing the process, and it'll be much easier to deal with. Kind of like when I had you take something that was a level 1, shrink it down and move it over and made it bigger, didn't bother you near as much. You guys notice when we did that, right? It's the same idea. You are now learning how to run your holographic nervous system. And you can use this to get rid of stuff, but you can also use it to put stuff in. Okay, it's super powerful, right? This is one of the things you have to know and have to understand. If you want the full system, grab one of these, the Identity by Design home study courses. You know, the whole Hidden Law Ultimate Manifestation Mastery has all this, the entire system in it, the entire 7 stages, all the drills, all the processes, things of that nature. We're just going to play with this one right now. We're going to show you all the different things you can do with it. Okay. So you guys ready for the next one? Sue, ADHD, can it be used for that? I believe it can. I have never personally done it, but I think you probably could use it for that. Yes. Okay, so look at your list. Pick something on that list that you want to change. Point to where you feel it, reach out and touch it. Trace the outline of it with both of your hands so you know how big it is. Put that big black frame around it. Find the knob, white it out or black it out completely. Take your magic index finger, write the lessons and the feelings on the screen. Keep writing till they're all gone so you can keep all the lessons, let everything else go. Keep all the lessons, let everything else go. Keep all the lessons and let everything else go. Now reach up, shrink it down to the size of a postage stamp if you're an expander, make it as big as the horizon if you're a concentrator, and notice how the feelings in your body shift and changes with every breath you take and every beat of your heart. Your other than conscious mind begins the process of migrating that image over the top of your head, back beyond the horizon until it disappears completely below the horizon. And you know the sound a sound a hammer makes when it bangs on your, when a hammer is banging on a nail. Nailed back there for all eternity, impossible to come back. When it's nailed back there for all eternity, impossible to come back. Test it. Try to bring it back and notice what happens instead. Okay, Colleen, here's the secret to that. If you can't feel it, pretend you can. And if you could pretend where you felt it, where would you pretend to feel it? Okay, here's the secret to this. A lot of times people have extra layers of dissociation locked in there. But if you've ever played pretend as a child, it's the same part of your brain that's working. So pretend and work with it. Okay. Colleen, you're not alone. There's other people who have similar levels of dissociation. It still works. You can process it. Alvi says, I cannot bring it back for some reason once I've nailed it down far behind me. How about that, Alvi? How cool is that? Right? Here's the secret. If you're having any problem with any part of this exercise, pretend. The same part of you that controls all of these faculties is the same part that played pretend when you were a little baby or when you were a little child. It says it in the Bible, be as little children. You want to engage the imagination, okay? I've had people with dissociative identity disorder. You have them point to where they feel it. It's outside in their body somewhere. Lynn says it gets easier and more automatic this time with each rep. Yes, this is my second time here and it works even better this time. Please keep trying, Colin. Yeah, here's the secret. One of the secrets to this is what we call neuroplasticity. The more you do this, again, you don't gotta believe it, but if you can play pretend, you can make the change. The only difference is repetitions. But what happens is the more times you do this, the more you start amplifying the inherent neuroplasticity of your system, and the easier it is to make more and more changes. The magic number, by the way, this is one of the reasons why we're doing it 3 times instead of just the classical 1 or 2 times. The magic number for your neurology to grab hold of anything is 3. Right? You'll learn this in depth when you come to Identity by Design in March, because this is part of our unique training process that makes you unstoppable. Okay. All right. So that's our magic 3. Questions? What did you discover? What did you notice? All right. Colleen, if you want extra help, Seth is willing to help you. You might want to reach out to him off the webinar and have him guide you through some processes. That's actually one of the cooler things about the people in our community is we're always looking to help people. We're always looking to go the extra mile. So if you have extra issues, our people can help, and after you've had the Identity by Design training, you'll be able to do this too with anyone, anytime, anywhere, under any circumstance, for any reason. Len says the 3-rep principle is magic. Mark says good tingly body feelings. Thanks. You are welcome, my friend. Now, your assignment this week is knock everything off your list. When you've cleaned off your list, start another list. Start at the 1s, work down to the 10s. Alvi says, I feel much lighter. Sis is growing is, what's the number again? Are you talking about this number for Stephanie? It's 858-282-4663. Or if you're asking about the magic number is 3 reps for any technique you want to be able to have a functional level of understanding. Okay, change it, Colleen, then change it into a sound or a color and work with that. Okay. And if that doesn't work, reach out to Seth and we'll do, Mark says audio is okay for me. Again, you have 5 different cortexes, right? Kathleen M says, I use Magic Frame with clients all the time. It's never not worked. Doc, can I use it to get rid of dumbness? Sometimes I'm a bit slow in the head. Maybe. I don't think there's much you can't change. Now, again, the technique requires an ability or willingness to be able to follow the instructions. If you can't somehow follow the instructions, then these techniques won't help you. You'll have to have somebody do some linguistic wizardry to get you to go through them, right? I don't think there's much, like I said, going back to Alvi, I don't think there's much you can't change. Geometric says, good evening, Dr. Snyder, sending blessings. Blessings back, my friend. All right, so we're gonna do one more thing. with the magic frame. Now, I want you to think of something that you'd like to manifest. Think of something that you'd like to manifest. Okay? Now, this is where it gets interesting. I want you to actually close your eyes and imagine what that would be like. Imagine what it would be like to have that thing. See what you'd be seeing, hear what you'd be hearing, smell and taste what you smell and you taste. I call this your alternate reality movie, or your Steven Spielberg moment. I want you to make an alternate reality movie where you have everything you need to have the thing you want to manifest. See what you see, hear what you hear, smell and taste what you smell and you taste. Okay. Now what I want you to do is close your eyes, and I want you to watch that movie. Not once, not twice, but over and over and over again, hundreds and thousands of times at the speed of thought. With each repetition, I want you to make it 10 times stronger, 100 times more powerful, 1,000 times more thrilling, fulfilling, and satisfying than ever before, until it overwrites and replaces every experience you had before. And then it just keeps getting stronger and stronger and stronger. I want you to notice as you live that movie, make it big like an IMAX, crystal clear. Turn up the sound, the smells, the taste, the feelings. Best life ever. And as you do that, I want you to notice there's a place in your body where those amazing feelings start, where they grow and where they spread from. Take a moment, point to where you feel it. Now, if there were a picture floating in the space around you that represents that amazing feeling, a picture you could reach out and touch, where would you reach out to touch it? Trace the outline of it with both of your hands so you know how big it is. Now, leave that there for a moment. Bring your mind back to your body where that wonderful feeling begins to grow and emanate from, and notice there's a color. Maybe even a series of colors connected to those amazing feelings. What color or colors might that be for you? First impression. Whatever it is, imagine a brilliant ball of that energy floating above your head. Notice how the feelings in your body shift and changes with every breath you take and every beat of your heart. That ball of energy begins to grow, begins to expand, begins to fill the entire room from floor to ceiling, from wall to wall, and all points in between. Notice how it wraps itself around you like an amazing blanket of manifestation energy, a cocoon, a shield, a suit of armor, insulating you, protecting you from all hesitations, all hindrances or blocks, real or imagined, while at the same time flooding your mind, flooding your body, flooding your spirit with everything it most wants, everything it most needs, in an infinite, ever expanding and unlimited supply. And when you know you've got that, breathe those colors through your entire being. Let it fill you up like water fills up a bottle, like fluid fills up a test tube, like hot air or helium fills up a balloon. Anchor it in so fully, so completely, no force in the universe can turn it off or take it away, not even you. When you know you've got it, test it. Try to turn it off, try to make it go away, and notice what happens instead. When you've done that, type done in the chat. Excellent. Gary says done. Len says done. George says done. Alvi says done. Perfect. All right. Part 2. Clear your mind. Now what I want you to do is I want you to think of something that you are absolutely 100% is certain is going to happen tomorrow. Maybe it's going to be that the sun's going to come up tomorrow. Maybe it's going to be that you're going to wake up tomorrow. Maybe it's, I don't know, make it something simple. Point to where you feel that feeling of certainty. Reach out and touch that picture. Okay. Now, I want you to imagine if there were a place around your body where you stored things that were 100% going to happen, just like the sun is going to come up tomorrow. If it's not that exact location where you first pointed, where in your body would it be? Take a moment and point to it. When you've got that, go ahead and type done in the chat. Good. Now, I want you to fill that, remember that manifestation color, the thing you wanted? Fill the room with it again, wrap it around you, breathe it through your body. When you're completely filled with it, reach out and touch the picture of the thing you just that connected to that color. Shrink it down to the size of a postage stamp. Move it to the location where things are absolutely going to manifest with 100% certainty. Expand it as big as you can. If you're an expander, concentrate it as small as you need to. If you're a concentrator, you following me? Now take the index finger of your dominant hand. And I want you to write down on that expanded screen in glowing golden letters. I'm going to give you a very powerful process. I now manifest this because, fill in the blank. I now deserve this because. I now manifest this immediately because. My brain will manifest this because. Fill in the blank, write them on the screen, and just keep writing until you've got at least 10 things written on that screen for why this is true for you. When you're done, type done in the chat. I shifted the spot. As I shifted, the spot moved. Okay. Is that a good thing? Move it in there, expand it, write the lessons. And tell me what happens in your body when you do that. Alvi, it can be 10 responses, or it can be just the same one 10 times. Alana says done. Christopher's energized. It's difficult to place the first scene. Okay, then you probably have something you need to clear before you're ready to have that. Okay, Gary, is that dominant thought came up? Is that a good thing? Oh, okay, we'll clear it. Okay. Did anybody have something come up that needed to be cleared? Point to where you feel it, reach out, touch the picture, frame it, white it out, write the lesson, shrink it down, move it behind you, knock it out, nail it back there. Mary says, feel confident. Very good. Is it okay if subconscious reasons instead of conscious? Yes. Here's the sneaky trick I just pulled on you. When you write something, I now deserve X because, that actually triggers the unconscious reasons to come up that you'll actually act upon. Okay, you'll learn about it in the Hidden Laws of Attraction home study course. It's part of the information training. But you've basically just done the exact thing when you actually got rid of the stuff, you just did the opposite, creating something you wanted, maximizing the power, embodying the connection, writing the reasons why it's going to manifest for you, and put it in the place where things have to manifest. Now, one of the other things I do with my Hidden Laws of Attraction students is I'll have them actually make it even bigger and turn it transparent and turn it into like a windshield, like a windscreen on your car. So as you're moving through the world, you see everything through that particular lens, but that's not necessary for this training. This is again, we're utilizing the different aspects of your holographic nervous system, the information training, like a HUD. Yes, very much. Okay. Remember, human beings always create technology that mirrors what we do with our neurology. What came first, the technology or your nervous system? That's right, your nervous system. So that's why we call these interfaces intuitive. Okay. So what happens when you do that? Boom. David says, very good teaching. Thank you, David. Kind of like your name, dude. All right. All right. All right, last call for those of you on the fence about the hidden laws of attraction. Len says it changed how I felt about it. Is that a good thing? Len, is that a good thing? You changed how you felt about it? Absolutely, for sure. All right. You see, for every reason, here's the meta perspective. For every reason our neurology comes up with for not getting something, it can generate an alternate reason for why we deserve to have it or why we can get it. You just have to ask the right question. Okay. Right. Yeah. And it is unbelievably easy to do and it's effective, but it took us 2,000 years to figure it out. Right. It's kind of like your cell phone. Right. It's great now, but it took us hundreds of years of trial and error to get to that point where we can just do it this way. Right. Now there's a lot more to the system, but I'm giving you some of the few pieces that you can just put into action right away based on the proprioceptive grid technology, the holographic memory system, the magic frame concept, and a little bit of the information technology. All of it's in your Hidden Laws of Attraction home study course. You'll learn every single nuance that there is to the system. You'll have the complete system from soup to nuts, and you'll be able to write your own ticket. Right. So if you're ready, then by all means, go ahead and click that link. www.davidsnyder.nlp.com/HLOA. Let me put that link up there one more time. Apparently, I must have cut and pasted something that didn't want to be cut and pasted. So please get one of the last few remaining seats. They are going quick. I just heard from our people. There's only a few slots left. So if you go ahead and click that link, you'll qualify for the fast action bonuses. If you wait until tomorrow to do it, you will not get the VIP ticket. You will not get the Attraction Mastery 4-day intensives. You will not get the Mastermind archives. Okay. Melissa says, done. As soon as I finished, a piece of firewood dropped and made a loud. Very good. Can you use this to manifest better health? Yes. Okay. In fact, one of the things you'll learn very, very quickly as a byproduct of the Identity by Design training is you'll be able to target all of your health problems and dissolve the psycho-emotional and energetic components of it very, very quickly. I've found I'm being completely honest with you. Nothing works for everybody, but more things work with this than don't. There's a lot of things I've never tested, but the truth is that this thing puts a dent in just about everything you throw it at, provided you can follow the instructions, right? And we give you everything you need to be unstoppable with this. So if you're really serious about leveling up in every aspect of your life, I really, really encourage you to click that link. It's only one installment of $14.97. It will change your life forever. You have a 60-day, no holds barred money back guarantee. If it doesn't work, pick up the phone, tell us, let us help you through the sticking points. If you still can't get it to work, we'll give you a full refund, but you're going to lose your chance if you don't do it right now. www.davidsnydernlp.com/HLOA. When would now be a good time to level up and change your life? Right? www.davidsnydernlp.com/HLOA. All right. Last call. You have any questions before I disappear into the ether? Tonight was a long class. I hope you got value from it. If you like this training, please like and share it to as many different people that you think can benefit from it. By all means, keep working your bucket lists. Keep using your magic frame. Get your hands on the rest of the Identity by Design silo and all the other manifestation techniques. in the Hidden Laws of Attraction Ultimate Manifestation Home Study course. And please post your success stories. Let us know how this helped you. If you have questions, post those, right? We love you all. This is Dr. David signing off. Good night and God bless.